Plantation. 9 to 5 be the time I was wasting. Man, I feel like I need a vacation. Saving up for my resignation. Why I feel like my manager hating. Ain't the one for no verbal castration. This government ain't giving reparation. We'll go to crime trying to fight the temptation.
Rejoice in tribulations, demonstrate patience in every situation, picking up the pieces to their heart restoration. People broken hearted and in need of salvation. Yeah. We in captivity, we done lost our history. Disconnected from his laws, now there's no integrity. Here's the book and let them see, because they dying in these streets. Walking in darkness and where the carcass is, the eagles be. Walking in darkness and where the carcass around us like vultures. Murder on their mind when they approach us. Let your light shine, watch them scatter like roaches. Babylon falling cause we taking back our culture. Heal our land, Abba now put us back in agriculture. This word burning them up, Romans is a flamethrower. We prophesy destruction, nukes coming, game over. International, continental, ballistic missile. Them bombs dropping like rain, no drizzle. The lake of fire make them sizzle. Showing fruits of the spirit, we don't gather figs of thistles. That's the dog, you know, so just like how you were saying.
Hey, my name is Amani Bright Laws. I'm a travel business owner. My business is Always Shine Bright Travel, where we help you discover your next bright destination. I want to talk to you really quickly today about becoming a travel business owner. Listen, if your passion is traveling, if your passion is exploring the world, if your passion is wanting to travel and explore the world, then you should become a travel business owner, okay? I have 2 easy ways to get started. Less than 1 minute, okay? The first way, up here, our website, travelagentworkshop.com. And please use my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? The second way is a text code. Text the word workshop to the number 281-767-9711. And again, reference my sponsor ID, Always Shine Bright, okay? Listen. The workshop is free. It's a free 3-day workshop, which gives you all the information on how to get started to become a travel business owner. Okay. Any questions that you have will get answered within that workshop. Okay. So let me meet you on the money making side of travel, where you can turn your passion into your paycheck.
Y'all know what time it is. It's your boy Chef D-Nail. Over here, guess who's cooking? Good cooking, good eating, good living. Y'all know how we do it every Sunday about this time, man. We're going to get straight to it. We got the chicken and dumplings, all right? We got the perch fish with the mac and cheese, with the yams, with the 5 cheese toast over here on the Texas side. And, of course, we got the world famous turkey tips, all right? We also got, on this one, we got the greens with the turkey tails, and we got the spaghetti. You already know what time it is, man. Hit the link, 992-4737 is the phone number to place your order every Sunday. All right. And you can hit us up on the Cash App to make payments at Guess Who's Cooking, the number 2. All right. You can hit the www.guesswho'scooking on the World Wide Web. You can catch us on Facebook Marketplace under Guess Who's Cooking. And, of course, on TikTok, man, at Guess Who's Cooking. Come on down. Get your orders.
Give me shame, I give you peace from underneath. Give me mind and being light to reignite. Can you open up the doors to let me in? Can you open up the doors to let me in? You could put the heart inside, don't top my head. As I sing the love inside from out my mouth. Tell me what you need to find. Tell me now. Tell me what you need to find.
The written account scribed. It was written. The written account scribed. It was written. The written account scribed. So shall it be written, so shall it be done. It's a beautiful thing to see the witness, the fall of your enemies, especially when brothers come together in unity. The book of Psalms chapter 133 and verse 1. In the name of the Father, in the name of the Son, Yahweh, Yahweh Shah, bringing us back to our dignity, moving in the righteous spirit with integrity. Luke chapter 12 verse 2. It was written, nothing is covered that shall not be revealed, which is hitting roughly. Paraphrasing the scripture, my main concern, we must learn biblical facts for lack of better terms. Know about our history and the genealogy, families, watch out for the signs and the prophecies, weird mysteries, the artifacts and sculptures, the iconic paintings stolen from culture. Folks, one day these heathens gonna be our slaves and serve the Israelites and Judah, says the word, you heard? The written account scribed. It was written. The written account scribed. It was written. The written account scribed. So shall it be written, so shall it be done. When there's an A side, there's a B side. Both can relate. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1 through 8. To everything there's a purpose and a season, the cause and the effect, to the rhymes and the reason. There's a time to be born, there's a time to die, a time to plant or pluck up, that's the reason why. A time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build. Esau is the end, Jacob is the beginning that follows. You're here today, you're gone tomorrow. Keeping it real, you know the deal, no pretending. Every beginning starts, it always has an ending. Amalek and Esau going crazy, they losing it, cause the Lord gonna strip them from power and rulership. It's prophetic, the prophecy's gonna come to pass. The last shall be first, the first shall be last. The written account scribed. It was written. The written account scribed. It was written. The written account scribed. So shall it be written, so shall it be done. One kingdom falls, another kingdom is on the rise. Biblical history from Yahweh Shah, take your way back to the Romans, the Greeks and the Persians, Babylonian, Egyptians and the Assyrians. The kings own the earth, can't hold the crown forever, cause what goes up must come down. It's the most high that put kings in position. When your time is up, it's time to take you out your mission. Yahweh raise up kingdoms and destroy kingdoms, give them power for a short time and debt ring them. No more power to dominate, no be in command, but only shaking their hand back to a low state. The most high is ready, willing and able to flip the script quick, just watch him turn the tables. The written account scribed. It was written. The written account scribed. It was written. The written account scribed. So shall it be written, so shall it be done. HOI to the chariots fly. Don't scream it if you don't mean it. Yeah.
Khan. All praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem and Mashiach Yahushai. Shayar on the track. HOI, New York. Spit, man. They got talent. You know what I'm talking about?
Khan.
Right. Khan. All right. So, welcome. You know, getting things in order, lighting some incense up. You know, hopefully everybody had a decent week. You know what I'm saying? An enjoyable feast, first fruits. All right. And let's get it on. All right. So, okay, first, let's give all honor, glory, respect to Yahweh by way of his only begotten son, Yahweh Shai, that will be God in Christ. Kwam Yasha'Allah, rise of Israel, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who are the biblical Jews according to the Bible. Double honors to our elders, still waking up the lost sheep of Israel in these last days. All right. Now, this class called You Won't Believe This. And that's pretty much, we have a bunch of stories throughout the week that it's going to be hard to fathom and to, you know, to believe. But that ain't saying it ain't true. Okay. So this should be a good one. You know what I mean? If you're on here, you know how this is done. You know what I'm saying? Esau is not really happy about us you know, spreading the word, spreading the truth of the Bible. So if you could like, comment, and subscribe, it will be much obliged. You know what I'm saying? Fight white supremacy. Hit the like button. All right. So let's first begin with the Lord's Prayer in Paleo Hebrew. All right. Abanawa, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Haya, Shemka, Yahweh, Malachwaka, Thaba'a, Ratazayaka, Haya, Aisha, Bo Ratazah, Kawa, Haya, Bashemayim, Nathananawa, Lacham, Kau, Yawam, Wasalaf, Nawa, Kaba Waf, Nawa, Kasalaf, Nawa, Kaba Wafi, Nawa, Wala'a, Thabianawa, Banasayan 1. Abo, Hawashainawa, Mayan, Rai, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwaf, Wa'ala, Wata Palarof, La Williamnum, Aman. All right. That's how we start things off on the good foot. All right, so let's get things started. First, we got to say, you know, Fair Use Act. This video is protected by the Fair Use Act. Esau be tripping, be all mad and everything like that. Listen, man, Fair Use Act, relax, chill, okay? Words going out, whether you like it, understand it, or not, okay? And come to find out, I mean, this the whole you know, lesson's about. Like, this is unbelievable. It's some unbelievable stuff that happened. Think this was a regular week? Not at all. Some crazy things happen. We're going to talk about it. You know what I mean? They're releasing things on the chariots. Like, when I say things, meaning, you know, previously classified information being declassified. And, you know, talking about angels. Like, wow, okay. That escalated quickly. Because, you know, the vice president and a bunch of other cabinet members or whatever, they're like, yo, these are demons, da. Now, depending on who you are, how they treat you, I think they were demons too. But since they whooping up on Esau, you know what I'm saying? It don't seem too demonic to me. Seems like justice. Okay. Let's start with Job chapter 8 and verse 6.
Khan.
You know, Khan. Okay. Oh, it's Slakia. You know, I'm Chassadyah, HOI, Philly, and my swordsman for today.
Shalom, families, brother Ariyah.
Good.
Khan.
Good. He said Chicago, Bronx, New York. You know what I'm saying? Midwest, Ohio.
HOI.
Khan.
Good.
All praises. You can bring it out.
Con, you want Job what?
Chapter 8 and verse 6.
Okay. It's the book of Job, chapter 8 and verse number 6. If thou were pure and upright, surely now he would awake for thee and make the habitation of thy righteousness prosperous.
So, the story of Job, him and his friends are going back and forth, you know what I mean? Like, telling him, like, this is the reason why God's doing this to you, so forth and so on. And one of them says, yo, if you was right, then God will wake up for you, right? Like, that makes sense. But of course, we know Job was perfect. This is a test from Yahweh Shem Shai. Now, we are not, you know what I mean? We coming out of slavery. We coming out of Jim Crow. We coming out of mass incarceration, which is still going on, of course. Trying to bring back Jim Crow. You know what I'm saying? Now they have a caste system as far as the new Jim Crow, which is lock the niggas up. You know what I'm saying? We lock them up, then we put them in a position that they can only get but so high, and we had that ceiling above them and all that, right? This, 13th Amendment, we understand slavery's not ended, it's just rebranded. So we coming out of that. And Willie Lynch, who was that nigga looking like? Why are you looking at me? He too light skinned, he too dark skinned. I don't like her, I don't like him. So we coming out for that, and we dealing with a lot, right? But we're waking up. You know what I'm saying? The other day, I'm sitting outside, somebody drove by, he pulls over like, yo, the fringes, shalom. You know what I'm saying? So this is, normally, Jake pull out, or pull over and pull out, you know what I mean? Or it can go down. So I'm looking at him like, who's this? He's shalom, brother. So this is a beautiful time, you know what I mean? Our people are waking up. Even though they shadow banned us extensively, the word's still going out. Brothers and sisters still sharing the videos and liking and commenting. So getting into the algorithm and all that. So what's happening? We learning that we're supposed to follow law, statutes, commandments. We're supposed to follow the Sabbath. We're supposed to treat each other like we want to be treated. You know what I mean? And as a result of us doing what the Most High told us to do, good things are happening in our benefit. Bad things are happening in Esau's benefit and the other nations. So we just got to keep it up. You know what I mean? So like the scripture said, if you was pure and upright, God's going to take care of you. And it's true. We are aiming to be pure and upright, and the Lord is taking care of us. You know what I'm saying? He's awaking for us. So this video, let me just play it, man. It's crazy. Put it like that. It's crazy. It's the basis of this class. It starts off with this. What in the world did I just look at? Okay. So this is in the Philippines, right? It's a volcano. The volcano is erupting. I just want to give a little overall. The volcano is an erupting volcano. You know, matter of fact, you get that Psalm chapter 144 and verse 5. This is an erupting volcano. A green, quote unquote, meteor falls out of the sky, hitting the volcano. Now, there's people that are saying, all right, look, they didn't hit the volcano. It was the way the angle of the camera was, whatever. You look at it, you tell me. You know what I'm saying? We can't, these are just people on the internet saying what they want to say. You let me know. Afterwards, a chariot is seen coming from the exact location of this meteor. You can't make this up. You cannot make this up. Okay. And it takes me back. I was just talking about this on First Fruits. The guy Angel, his name was Angel, 10 Tribes brother in Las Vegas, where a chariot landed in his backyard. Of course, all this crazy stuff happens. The police cameras don't work anymore, yada, 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 BS. But before the police went to that location, the reason why they went, like, somebody says, yo, there's aliens in my backyard. They're like, okay, sir, we'll bring the straight jackets. We'll get you out of here. We'll get you a nice, comfortable place, right? The reason why the cops went there with, like, he's probably telling the truth, because they seen a streak in the sky, green, right? And they all saw it, and it's on their body camera, right? Of course, when they went in the backyard to look at it. Their body cameras all of a sudden they don't work, and they got laws against showing people's body cameras in their house, which is a lie. You know what I mean? But anyway, so that same green streak that doesn't look like a meteor, has a long streak to it, landed, and then a chariot came up. Bring that out, King.
It's the book of Psalms 144 in verse number 5. Bow thy heavens, O Lord, and come down. Touch the mountains, and they shall smoke.
Touch the mountains, and they shall smoke. So these volcanoes, Most High is doing the earthquakes. The Most High is doing, you can say the tectonic plates. You can say the magma intrusion reaches the level that can no longer, listen, the scriptures are clear. You know what I'm saying? He touched the mountains and make them smoke. He shakes the earth, okay? And there's been a lot of shaking going on as well. But let's watch this video. You look at it, you tell me if this is normal. You know what I mean? If you, and I'll tell you like this, I'll stand on this. If you think this is normal, spiritually, you're not where you need to be. You know what I'm saying? Then if this is normal, then everything's normal. It's either there's abnormal stuff or you know, everything is just as plain Jane as they can be. You know what I mean? You got to really look in the mirror if you think that, oh, well, that happens every day. No, it doesn't. Okay. Now, from meteor to chariot, that's what I named this. Let's watch this. So this volcano is in the Philippines. Is it like, I think Mayon, Philippines. Boom.
Oh, damn.
You know what I'm saying? The first thing, by the time a meteor gets that close to the ground, it's supposed to decimate. It's not supposed to be there no more. And what is that? And what is that? Do you know what I'm saying? Did you see it? Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Do it again. Oh, Slack. That's a quick video. So within seconds of this quote unquote green meteor hitting an erupting volcano. To see a meteor is crazy anyway. Remember, seen one in Jamaica. Remember that, King? God. And I don't think that was a meteor either. Damn. And look at that. So what do you think? What do you think that chariot is here to do? We're going to get that. Khan, can we about to say something? Slack here.
No. Yeah, it's 2026. We about to see everything. And remember, Esau with the talking about the alien files, and he's trying to create this situation. He had one video where Issachar talking about, yeah, I seen the Grays and all of that stuff, and yeah, I seen him last week. Yeah, he's my cousin, whatever. Like, Esau is taking a serious situation, and he's trying to make a bit of a lightweight joke with it. Mm-hmm. But they know these chariots been here the whole time, and they've been waiting on their wickedness, their destruction, or the sins they have committed against the Lord that's going to be reaching up into the heavens. And now they know they got to pay. So Esau going to try to make a light of something that's real serious. These angels, like in Psalms, 2 Kings 19 and verse 35, one angel was able to wipe out 185,000 soldiers by himself in seconds. One angel, right? And the vehicles that the angels have is chariots, right? But what is it that the Lord is about to do to America because the sins they have committed against the children of God? What type of retribution that the Lord is going to set up in these times to where the most powerful man on this earth who think that he is God on earth, what the Lord about to show this devil, man? A celestial being face to face to show Esau, you have no comparison to the creatures I have created at all. You think you God on the earth? You think you the most powerful with your technologies and all of this stuff? I'm about to show you an angel, and they're gonna, boy, man,
yeah.
And they look like us. You know what I'm saying?
And
they only here for us to save us, destroy these damn devils. But it is. Yeah, it's a lot, man.
Yeah.
A lot.
And erupting volcanoes already erupting. You're not even supposed to see those things. Like, you know what I'm saying? To see a meteor is like, you know, I want to say, yeah, like a once in a lifetime thing. You could probably count on your hand how many times you actually seen a meteor, right?
Right.
And to see it hit an erupting volcano, it's almost like the world is huge. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the chances of that happening are slim to none. There has to be you're better off hitting the lottery every day that you play. Do you know what I'm saying? Or getting struck by lightning a million times in order to see something that rare. You know what I'm saying? And then after it lands, you see the
Yeah, like
chariot.
just
Come
get
on.
back up, like floating.
Oh man. I seen the first video, right? I seen the first video and I'm like, man, for that to happen is very rare. And I'm like, all right, I gotta put that up. That's something crazy. But something it wouldn't allow me to do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to record it and everything. I'm like, this is weird. I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna leave it alone. So later that day, somebody said, did you watch the rest of the video? And you see the chariot coming up. I'm like, that's all right. Now that's strange. You know what I'm saying? So this happened in the Philippines, and we're gonna talk about what happens as a result of the chariots being on the earth and the things that they do to Esau. Esau is in shambles, man. He's messed up. Okay. We're gonna see the difference between not today, really, the difference between what happens to the righteous. We know that in the scriptures. But what's been happening to these Edomites? You know, they're not doing too good. Okay. Let's get Habakkuk 1 and 5. And we'll talk about John Mack. John Mack is a researcher, was a researcher from Harvard University. And it's kind of like a compilation of what he thinks. You know what I mean? Of course, he's Esau, so you know he's not going to have all the information, right? You know, they try to make the best light of it, like, you know, it's really bad for them, but they don't feel that it's necessarily they don't know that their emotions you know, that you're scaring them and all this other stuff. You know, they try to like minimize it. You know, these aliens don't know that they're hurting people. Like, what? Niggas, you dumb or you stupid? Of course they know they're hurting people. You know what I'm saying? He's hurting y'all. You know what I mean? So it may help them sleep at night better, but that doesn't make it the truth. Okay. But we're gonna get a couple little compilation of what he says and after the scripture. Go ahead, can you bring it out?
Khan. It's the book of Habakkuk, chapter 1, and verse number 5. Behold, ye among the heathen, and regard, and wonder marvelously. For I will work a work in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told you.
Con, like you know, you won't believe this. You know what I'm saying? It's not clocking to you. You know what I'm saying? You're not clocking it. The Most High standing on business. You know what I mean? And the things that are happening to Esau and other nations is going to propel them to grab on to your fringes and say, I got to come with you, man. I haven't slept in a month. You know what I mean? Things are just getting too strange, and it's going to keep going in that direction, you know. And just seeing this, Most High willing, it makes you go in the right direction or continue to go in the right direction and be like, yo, I don't want no smoke. You know, if the Most High is going to do that to Esau, that is going to propel me not to sin, because it's going to get bad for this man. Okay. I mean, it always get in bad for him, but it's going to get worse. So let's watch this. It's a little lengthy. I'll stop it and you know, at the appropriate time, but just so we get the acknowledgement that Dr. John E. Mack, Harvard University, they know what's going on.
There's some kind of authentic mystery here, which my training in psychiatry just hasn't prepared me for.
When I first heard about this, I didn't believe it at all. Somebody says, you want to meet Bud Hopkins? Who's he? This was 2.5 years ago. Oh, he's a man who believes in stories of people who've been taken on to spaceships. I thought he must be crazy, and the people he's working with must be. Not so at all. What I discovered was that he was talking about people who are completely sincere. They don't claim they've been taken by aliens anyways. They're very reluctant to come forward with their stories. The stories that they were telling consistently, as I began to meet with these people myself, there was nothing in my psychiatric work over 40 years that prepared me for the consistency of these stories, the fact that they're told by children as young as 2 years old with physical marks, cuts, scoop marks, and the rest, the association with UFOs, and that these are not people who are mentally ill. And there's nothing in my background that prepared me for this set of experiences.
Well, I first had to satisfy myself about what the phenomenon was, that it was not psychosis, it was not some strange dissociative condition, not some neurosis, not some contagion from the media. In fact, it has no resemblance to any psychiatric condition that in my 40 years of work in this field I had recognized. It's not some displaced abuse, all those things which naturally my colleagues and I think of in relation to this. This has its own structure, its own quality.
Because as a psychiatrist, you would be able, first of all, to identify certain psychotic states, certain mental states, and therefore dismiss the stories as being a result of that. And two, you would also, with all the skill that you have, I mean, you're a top American psychiatrist at Harvard, you would be able to tell when people were telling fibs.
That's what I'm supposed to be trained to do, is to distinguish between fantasy, dream, psychosis, or authentic experience. And this has all the marks of authentic experience.
Because even if only some were lying, you would see an underlying pattern, wouldn't you, of either lies or mental disturbance. And the underlying pattern is people telling the truth.
Right, and these people don't want this to be true. I mean, they sometimes will come to me and want me to make it go away and give them a pill. And when they find other people are having the same experiences, they become shocked and tremble, and it freaks them out.
I've seen many people that come to me wanting to have a psychiatric diagnosis, wanting to be told that they have a neurosis or even a psychosis, and become very disturbed when I say, no, I don't understand this. You're having these experiences and I can't explain.
They're looking for some other explanation.
It's what I call the anything but syndrome.
Okay.
I went through it myself. I mean, I've looked at every other possible explanation as thoroughly as I can, and nothing plausible has emerged. I might say there is not in the literature, I always throw this out to audiences, there is not in the literature or among the reports a single case of alien abduction experience that has revealed behind it, upon examination, something else. I've had people come to me saying, they want to be told this is a dream, a fantasy. Even I had a man that came to me just last week and said, doctor, I'm coming to you because I want you to tell me that I'm crazy. I don't want to believe that these experiences are real. The implications for this person's worldview are so staggering. But as Freud once said, theory doesn't prevent facts from showing up.
Here was this paradox of these people who are, as far as I could tell, I've investigated 90 of these cases now, sound of mind, completely believable, not believing it themselves, telling me with great doubt, not trying to claim anything or sell me anything. In fact, rather disturbed when they would hear there were other people who'd had the same experiences, because that would blow their denial, wanting to believe it was a dream. A point in the interview where I would say, well, tell me what happened. And they would say, well, I was in my bedroom watching TV, and then this blue light, and I said, well, you didn't say you'd been asleep. And then tears would come down their cheeks, and there would be this moment of shock because they would realize it wasn't a dream. Something had really happened.
As a psychiatrist, you are telling us they're not mentally ill. These are not delusions we're talking about.
Absolutely not. They are troubled people because, as you heard from Pat and Michael, these are very disturbing experiences, and they have a kind of post-traumatic quality to them. But it's not just post-traumatic, because this can happen again to them at any time. It's not like over once it's happened. And those experiences are disturbing, but the disturbing feelings, experiences they have does in no way accounts for the experience. What is causing this? That's the mystery.
Otherwise sane people having these highly traumatic, very dense, highly articulated, detailed, congruous experiences, which can begin to be reported in children as young as 2 years old, associated with UFOs in otherwise sane people. So I had to start by satisfying myself that this was not
something else. Okay, then I can begin not from my own speculations, but from the information that the abductees themselves get from the experience. I'm beginning to put together a structure of what this is about.
If these people aren't hallucinating, if they're not part of some kind of mass psychosis, if they are experiencing something, what's your conjecture?
No, of course, that's a 64 billion pound question. I mean, I've finally come after thousands of hours. I was told for 2 years, don't say what you think here. Don't say what you think. Just say, I don't know, you know. But after a while, the pattern becomes so powerful, so dense that the only thing, I mean, no kind of psychiatric illness, so not hallucinating, fantasying, some other kind of trauma, none of it begins to work because you have the UFOs, you have the cuts, the scoop marks, the independent witnessing, the people are absent. So some kind of another intelligence seems to be trying to knock on our doors to get through to us. Well, we like things this way or that way, you know, it's a subtle matter. It's perhaps preparing us slowly, gradually, letting us, because if they kind of showed up en masse, we'd panic or send out the RAF or something.
In spite of the fact that the people that come to me know that they're going to encounter some disturbing memories when they come up, they feel that they have a major part of their life that they're not in touch with, and people don't like that. They don't want to feel there's a whole secret life that they've been through that they can't get to. So what happens is, yes, there are some very disturbing things that happen in the hypnosis sessions. Memories come back that are sometimes overwhelmingly intense and disturbing, but as they come to grips with those memories, they become much more solid, sure of themselves. They feel that they have an ally in me. They meet other people who've been through the experiences. They feel less cut off and isolated. And the overall effect is a constructive one. You know, so it's like going through the dark night of the soul, in a sense, but coming to a place of making peace with the experience.
Well,
you could think of the divine, or if you can think of the world of both spirit with form and spirit without form, or the...
All right, this one Esau tries to get deep, and, you know, we don't need you to do that, Esau. You know what I'm saying? So this is an awakening that's going on, you know, with the world, that these things do exist and that this is happening. And not just with Esau, you know, 2/3 of our own people, you know, and everybody, I believe it's all encompassing. You know what I'm saying? This is what is going on. People are being visited, whether it be at night, driving down a dark road, sitting in, you know, your living room, minding your own business. You never know when these things happening. So the best part is, if you found the law, statutes, commandments, you should be all right. You know, if you're so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American, everybody else, it's going to be a rough ride. And when Trump and his administration are coming out and talking about these things and declassifying it, there's, of course, obviously, we don't believe Esau, right? So there's a part of all of us that are like, what's their angle? You know what I mean? Is it Operation Blue Beam? Where are we going with this? But keep in mind that the Lord runs everything. So if these videos and these the paperwork going back, you know, almost a century, you know what I'm saying, are being released, that means God really wants them to release at the end of the day. You know what I mean? The Most High God wants this to be released. And people are going to realize that this has been going on for a long time. You know, reading Ezekiel, going back to Exodus and the fire, cloud by day, fire by night. You know, this is really nothing new, but it's being exposed on a massive level. And with the internet, it's all over the place. All right, let's go to Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 24. Yeah. And the important part, right? One thing that's important is you're able to sleep in your bed and go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? That starts you off for the next day. You know what I mean? Rest yourself, rest your mind and everything. If you have that, you're very wealthy. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, Elon Musk, that has all the billions in the world, he can't sleep at night. Donald Trump, he can't sleep at night. He's tweeting throughout the entire night. You know what I mean? They're scared of something. And we all know what it is. You know what I mean? But they keep doubling down on their racism and their oppression because that's all they know. You know what I'm saying? It's like Pharaoh constantly, Most High is constantly hardening his heart. He can't come to grips with reality and what's really going on. Okay, so sleep is crucial in these last days. Rest your mind, be still, and know that I'm God. It's important in these last days. Go ahead, King, bring it out.
God. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, and verse number 24. When thou liest down, thou shalt not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet.
That is crucial. You get some nice sleep, restful sleep. You know what I'm saying? But the other side of, you know what I mean, the dark side, they don't have that. Go on.
Be not afraid of sudden fear, neither of the desolation of the wicked when it cometh.
Don't be afraid of sudden fear. So when you start seeing the wicked getting judged, you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of that. Okay. We've been obviously preparing for this day for a long time. You know what I'm saying? Read on.
For the Lord shall be thy confidence, and shall keep thy foot from being taken.
The Lord is your confidence. Following after Yahweh Shem Messiah is your confidence, and will not help and shall keep your foot from being taken. You know what I'm saying? Not Esau. He can't do that. There's nothing he can do to stop anything. All right. And further disclosure, you know what I'm saying? When they get taken at night or during the day or whenever the angels feel fit, and Most High feels fit, they be getting abused. You know what I'm saying? Getting really abused. And it's stories of people, they having like open head surgeries. You know what I'm saying? It's like just dissecting them literally and then putting them back together and then throwing them off the chariot. They be breaking their arm, shoulder messed up. They're like, I just fell from, 10 feet, 20 feet, whatever. And, still alive, you know what I'm saying? Not to kill them, but just, tagging them, beating them up and throwing them out. You know what I'm saying? This is a movie called, I always talk about it, Patient 17. It's something you should definitely see. I believe it's on YouTube for free. Patient 17. Check that out. And one part of it, Esau is riding on his motorcycle, and he said he feels like a stake, a railroad stake is just boom, put in his leg, and he had to fall off the motorcycle, and he's in all this pain and everything like that. So come to find out, he goes to see what's wrong with his leg, and there's something real small, an implant, if you will, that's in his leg. And he goes to a guy that's known for taking him out. His name is Dr. Lear. And, he's like, did you have surgery? Do you remember anything happening to you? And then he was like, well, I do remember, quote unquote aliens or whatever, you know what I mean, coming in my room, something coming in my room, and I blacked out. I don't remember anything after that. And it's been happening to me my entire life. So when he did get the surgery and took it out, they're like, this thing is not made on the planet. It has properties and isotopes from a whole nother solar system. You know what I'm saying? But it was implanted in his nervous system. Okay. So when something like that powerful is put in your nervous system, it can just knock you off your bike while you're driving 100 miles an hour. You know what I'm saying? If it's put into the entire army of the United States government, if they're marching on your house and you see 1 million plus all armed and they're ready to take you down, and then they just fall and they're falling in pain, you know what I'm saying? We start to realize that the Most High is extremely advanced. He is so far beyond our realm of comprehension. It's remarkable. So here we are, we prepare for the Sabbath. The Most High has been preparing for these days to come since the beginning of the days. Do you know what I'm saying? So he has things set up that, we're not going to believe. You know what I mean? It comes down to it. We're not even going to be able to fathom how the Most High is going to operate in these last days. But we got to keep in mind that he's on our side. You know what I'm saying? God's on our side. All right. Now let's go to some more things. You know what I mean? He causes the volcanoes. He also causes the earthquakes. Let's go to Ezra chapter 6, verse 11. Ezra in the so-called Old Testament.
Mhm.
On a beautiful place like Hawaii, earthquakes took place. Earthquakes taking place. And this is where the billionaires have gone to get their bunkers. You know what I mean? What's his name? Zuckerberg and Oprah, makers of all, you know, tech industries are buying up all this land, all this property, and, you know, getting ready for Armageddon. They know what's going. They know what's coming on. You know what I mean? They understand the scriptures. They know what's happening, right? But Mosai had a little shaking going on. And you can bring it out.
God. It's the book of Ezra, chapter 6, and verse number 11. Also, I have made a decree that whosoever shall alter this word, let timber be pulled down from his house and being set up, and let him be hanged thereon, and let his house be made a dunghill for this.
So you look at, let's go with just Zuckerberg. You know what I'm saying? You put something up on Facebook about our history, you know what I'm saying? The things that our ancestors went through, the things that we go through. And they say this goes against community guidelines. You're like, well, this is my life. You know what I'm saying? This is what I'm dealing with. You know, you put up a video of how the police treat you, and they put a mark on it like, you know, this might be too harsh for our community. But at the same time, you could look at stuff on Facebook of Jake jumping each other, you know what I'm saying? Eve grabbing each other's hair and beating them up. That's fine. But when you put anything about our oppression, it goes in community guidelines. So it's a perfect place that the Most High chose to give this massive earthquake, and it knocked houses off of the foundations. So there's no place where Esau can run. There's no place where these other nations can go to and be safe. Okay. Something like Hawaii is a paradise. It's amazing over there. Most High destroy that place in a day or an hour.
Begin tonight with the earthquake that shook Hawaii Island last night, a 6.0 quake that struck just before 10 p.m. Angela Savone spoke with residents that are still shaken by this experience.
People on Hawaii Island are cleaning up after a powerful earthquake sent families running from their homes. I talked to residents that say the shaking was unlike anything they've felt in years. The 6.0 earthquake struck just before 10 Friday night, shaking homes across the entire state. For families living closest to the epicenter near Pahala, the moments during and after the quake were terrifying.
As soon as this one came on, I knew it was going to be really, really strong. And then it just really started and kept going.
Kaylee Grant says she and her husband tried to run outside as the shaking intensified.
It felt like we were in a wave of the ocean. Like it was just the whole house was moving.
Moments later, the power went out. They were one of about 1,000 HECO customers that reported power outages.
Start looking and inspecting all of the damage. And there's just everything's come off the walls, the shelves.
The couple had only moved into the home 2 weeks ago. Now they're starting over.
Had all of our things in place where we wanted them to be, unpacked an entire house. And then this happened and kind of made us at square one.
Despite their damage, Kaylee knows others had it worse.
Our neighbors in our neighborhood, their house actually coming off the foundation and boulders blocking their driveways and making it impossible for them to pass.
Hawaii County Mayor Kimo Alameda says the west side saw the most significant reports of damage.
11 reports so far, very substantial reports, mostly homes being set off of their foundation. We're also concerned about, we have catchment water tanks that got detached from their original source of water, and so that's a concern.
Crews spent the night responding to landslides, debris, and outages impacting hundreds of homes.
We got enough reports to reach the threshold of sending out a assessment team tomorrow.
Officials will continue inspecting roads, bridges, and water systems for additional damage.
You felt the earthquake last night. You should go around and check around, right? If you got gas, you want to check for leaks. Use your senses, right? You smell something different, go check it out.
Residents also say the aftershocks made it difficult to feel safe even hours later.
And feeling those aftershocks was really jarring and almost like PTSD of what had just happened. It's just such a reminder that we are at the mercy of Mother Nature.
Hawaii County officials
can't really help it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's embedded, it's ingrained. Mother Nature, the universe, it's more like I see them all as like little pharaohs and pharaohettes that their heart is always hard and they can't come to the grips that the Most High is doing this. So after that, like Mother Nature must be angry, then aftershocks, oh, the universe is trying to tell us something. It's like, just can't believe in God. So it's just going to progressively get worse and worse. You know what I mean? Babylon could be healed, but she's not healed. You know what I mean? Can't be healed. They're just too far gone. So this happened in Hawaii, and in Chile had a very large earthquake as well. Let's get Psalm chapter 60 and verse 2. And when we look up at what has been going on, what continues to go on, right? From the heavens down here to the earth, it is something that happens every day. The sun, and whether it be coronal holes in the sun, solar winds coming out of the sun. There is a blue moon, a micro blue moon happening this weekend. Also, planetary alignments. So when all these things start to happen in the heavens, it affects the earth as well. Okay, let's bring that out. Psalm 60 and 2, King.
Khan. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 60 and verse number 2. Thou hast made the earth to tremble. Thou hast broken it. Heal the breaches thereof, for it shaketh.
Khan, you know what I mean? So the Most High causes the earthquakes. The Most High causes the volcanoes. The Most High is in the whirlwind and in the storm. You know what I mean? So when these things happen, there was a tornado in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? It didn't even look right. Like, I ain't know Mexico has tornadoes. I mean, that's obviously not the case, and that's my ignorance, but I just don't normally hear tornadoes happen in Mexico. Well, it just happened a couple days ago. So the Lord is doing all these things, and it's happening all over the world. And, to have each video about that and to talk about it, we'll be here all night. I say that all the time, right? Let's watch this video. What happened in Chile. And Chile be having some massive earthquakes. So these earthquakes, these are diverse places. You know what I mean? Hawaii, Chile. Let's continue.
Much for joining us here today on NewsX. Well, pleasure as always speaking with you. Thank you. A powerful 6.9 magnitude earthquake has struck northern Chile, sending shockwaves across several regions in the country. The quake hit the Atacama Desert, about 31 kilometers from mining town of Calama. The tremor struck at a depth of around 100 kilometers, reducing the risk of major surface destruction. Chile's disaster response agency says there is no tsunami threat and no immediate reports of casualties or serious damage. However, strong shaking across the region, Africa, Tumpacara, Antofagasta and Atacama. Television images showed goods tumbling off supermarket shelves as residents rushed outdoors. Chile is one of the most earthquake-prone countries in the world. Sitting in the currents of the Nazca South American and Antarctic tectonic plates, the country has experienced some of the most devastating quakes in history, including the massive 9.5 magnitude earthquake in 1960 and the deadly 8.8 magnitude tremor in the 2010 that triggered a tsunami and killed more than 520 people.
Yeah, Chile be having some crazy earthquakes. And what they talking about, no immediate reports of damage. What are you talking about? What are we looking at the same pictures? You know, they said people they don't know if anybody died because it just happened. You know what I mean? You gotta like count the calls who need to be saved, who this, that, and the third, because 6.9 is a very large earthquake. And let me see if I can find, it was a video. Give me 1 second. It was a video that people were filming as the earthquake happened in Chile. Let me see if I have that. 1 second.
Shit, you remember the one in was it last year with Syria?
Syria, Turkey.
Was it
Yeah.
that one? 40,000 got killed.
That was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got it bad on that, John. Okay, I found it.
Madre, weón.
Yeah, so I mean, feel the earth shaking, like the earth is moving. Where do you run to in those situations? Yeah, God is not mocked, man. You know what I mean? Let's get Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 26, because he's doing all this. No Mother Nature, the universe. Who made the universe?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He made everything. Like, yo, put respect. Yatai always say, man, you gotta put respect on Moses' name. Yo, put respect on how about Shem Yahushua's name, man. You know, he ain't no joke. Nobody to be played with. Con, K, you bring it out.
Hebrews 12 and verse number, which one you want? 26. Con. This is Hebrews chapter 12 and verse number 26. Whose voice then shook the earth, but now he hath promised, saying, yet once more I shake not the earth only, but also heavens.
But also heavens. Go ahead.
And this word, yet once more, signifieth the removing of those things that are shaken, as of things that are made, that those things which cannot be shaken may remain.
So the material things, the material things going to be shaken. You know what I'm saying? You see the earth, the buildings and everything. Some things can't be shaken. Read on.
Wherefore, we receiving a kingdom which cannot be moved, let us have grace, whereby we may serve God acceptably with reverence and godly fear.
Okay. This is the kingdom to come is unshakable. It's unmovable. Okay. All the material things, they're going to collapse. They're going to be gone. You know, Yahushua said, man, that there's not Now one stone shall remain unturned. You know, and I'm watching this. Oh man, this is good. I'm going to have to talk about this rather than put it up. It's called Area 52. If you want to check it out, Area 52, and it's a 3-part series. A guy named Amaury Rivera. I would definitely recommend you check it out, because knowing the scriptures and then watching that, you'll be like, wow. Do you know what I mean? Amaury Rivera, he was Ephraimite from New York that moved to Puerto Rico, right? And as he's coming from work, he had an experience, you know what I'm saying? What they call an abduction experience. They the angels brought him up in the chariots with about 15 other people and showed them visions of the future, right? This is the one I talked about this before. This is the person that's talking to him, he said, was dark. You know what I'm saying? Like normally, you know, Esau always try to make, oh, he's a beautiful white Nordic, and you know what I'm saying? That's what they do. But Ephraim was like, yo, he's dark, yeah, dark hair. And as he was talking to me, he had what they had to talk about, the grays, you know, grays next to him. And he said, oh, they're just drones, you know what I'm saying? We make them, you know what I mean? They're the angels, right? The black men on the chariots are the angels. Those grays are just like drones. Like we have drones flying around doing our work, doing our reconnaissance, whatever like that. That's what they are. But anyway, knowing Ezra and all the prophets and talk about what's going to happen in the future, it's them saying it to him and narrating it, him narrating it later on. And you're like, dang, they did talk about that. Dang, that's what's in Jeremiah. Dang, that was in Isaiah. Do you know what I'm saying? So check that out if you get a chance, right? But one thing that they talked about was the massive amount of earthquakes. It's going to be just constantly earthquakes. You know, there's nothing, like Yahweh said, not one stone will be unturned. It's going to be massive earthquakes where the nuclear reactors, they fall apart. They, you know, the water gets tore up, you know, like it says in Hosea, and there's no more fish, and like it's wild. All right. But check that out. Area 52. It's like an Edomite that has glasses. He has like a little cardigan on or whatever like that. So you got to look for the 3-part series. They're not back to back to back, but so it's part 3, then part 2, and then part 1. You'll enjoy it. Or no, slack it. Reverse that. 1, 2, and 3. All right. How about we talk about sinkholes? Okay, massive amount of sinkhole opened up. Let's get Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 18. So this is a short amount of time that all these things have been happening. We do this every week, right? So the Most High is really condensing every day something crazy or abnormal is happening on the planet. And just letting you know what time period we living in.
Come on.
All right. Isaiah chapter 24 and verse 18.
Come on.
It's
the book of Isaiah chapter 24 and verse number 18. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit. And he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake.
If you fall in the pit, you're going to get up out the pit, get taken in the trap. You know, this is a scary time period to be alive for a lot of people. You know what I mean? That's why a lot of people, you know, when you talk about this, they're like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to hear it. Like if them hearing it makes it happen. No, it's happening.
Right.
And you just want to put your head in the sand and pretend it's not. You know what I'm saying? Like the law of attraction. Like if I don't hear it, it doesn't happen. If I don't think about it, it's not my reality. That new age mumbo jumbo, man. You know what I mean? These things are going on. There are earthquakes happening in diverse places. There's sinkholes opening up. There's volcanoes getting hit by meteors, turning into chariots. You know, this is the end. And this is what it looks like. And it's, you know, the Most High preparing us, giving us like little bit at a time. Like, yo, prepare your mind, okay? Prepare your family, prepare for the future of this place not being here. Don't be like Lot's wife, like, oh, hold on, let me get my big screen TV. You know, hold on, let me get my passport. No, all this stuff's gonna get burnt up, man. You know what I'm saying? Get detached from the material world. You know, like it says in Hebrews, you know, the material and everything that's going to be done. You know what I mean? There's our kingdom, Most High willing we're in it. Our kingdom is unmovable. Okay, so let's check out the sinkhole. Where are we at? Slakia, here we go.
As you guys can see here, a massive sinkhole has opened up, and this is in Kentucky. We have a farmer outside of Maysville, which is in Mason County, getting word that there is a massive hole on his property. You can see just how big it is on the right side there compared to the houses and everything else off in the distance there. Now, apparently the property owner had no clue what was going on, but a cell phone tower technician was working nearby and spotted the opening while he was adjusting equipment above the area. He called it into dispatch, and then they went down. They noticed there was a massive collapse in the middle of this field, and the officials then went and notified the landowner. The early estimates say that this crater is close to 240 feet across with a depth that is described as extreme. So they don't know how deep it is. Can't even see the bottom. Fresh soil and the collapsed ground around the edges make it look like the earth just gave way. The farmer saying he has no idea how it got there. No one at this point can explain what caused it. Years ago, one opened up in the Corvette Museum here in Kentucky, which was crazy, and it swallowed up cars down into the hole. It was nuts. Shows you that they can open up anywhere. If there's not solid rock that you know of in the area, this can happen. If there's water running underground or many other things. What's down there? I don't know. It's worth an investigation. If I get a chance, I'm going to try to swing out in this area if they let people in and try to get some shots of this closer and see what else I can come up with. But if you guys got any info on this or anything like it, let me know in the comment section. I'll leave a link below and join me for the live streams going live Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on Dabu 77. Much love, y'all.
Okay, so now Kentucky is where the congressman, right? He was a Republican congressman. Still, he got ousted, right? His name is Massey, right? And he was the one guy that's like, yo, I don't think it's a good idea that our country's run by a bunch of satanic pedophiles. So, you know, maybe we should get this Epstein files released to people. And the Republicans are like, no, we're not going to do that. So, of course, Donald Trump says, you know, he's a traitor and this, that, and the third. And that just lets you know the mindset of Esau. Okay. The mind state is that if you think that, Slacky, if you believe that your government shouldn't, be able to do whatever they want, then you're against, you're like a treason, you know what I mean? You're a traitor, you know what I mean? I'm gonna line this up. You're treasonous, okay? And that's the only thing he did. You know what I mean? Like, he just went across party lines. If you remember, if you go back in time, no one that long ago, that they shut down the government because of this. You know what I'm saying? Like the Speaker Johnson was like, we're not even going to allow a vote to happen about releasing the Epstein files. It wasn't something that they wanted to release, even though he campaigned that we're going to release the Epstein files. They were saying, nah, we're all on vacation. So people didn't get paid. Remember, TSA wasn't getting paid. Long lines at the airport. That was because they didn't want to release the Epstein files. And Massey was one of the people that went across the aisle like, I'm not a fan of pedophiles, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why that's such a bad thing to say, but I'm not with that. I want these dudes to be arrested. Of course, nobody got arrested, but they released half of them. The other half, obviously, they didn't release, which you can only imagine how bad they are. But Israel, Amalek, put a whole bunch of money on the other side of Massey to get him out. So that was in Kentucky. And as you can see, Most High ain't with that. You know what I mean? Because a huge sinkhole just opened up in Kentucky, middle of Kentucky. So, this place is getting destroyed anyway, but it lets you know who the son of perdition was. You know what I'm saying? Khan, So all praise the Most High. Yeah, if Esau was digging up underneath the farm to build a bunker, you know what I mean? Then hopefully it collapsed on him, and that's all she wrote. You know what I mean? All right, let's get what I want. Give me 1 second. Let's get Ecclesiastes, because this is something different occurred, right? Let's get Ecclesiastes chapter 43 and 6. All right, because this what's going to happen tonight? Not tonight. No, it's going to happen on Saturday. Very interesting. Khan, you can bring it out.
He said he was digging under the farm to build a bunker. It'll likely do that too.
All right.
What you want, Ecclesiastes what?
43 and 6.
Oh, Sirach.
Khan. Yes. This is something else I meant to put in before.
Yeah. Okay.
This is regarding
that bumped in immediately. Sirach 43 and 6, right?
Khan.
This is the book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse number 6. He made the moon also to serve in her season for a declaration of times and a sign of the world.
Sign of the world. So what's happening this Saturday? A blue moon. You ever heard that thing? Once in a blue moon. Doesn't happen a lot. This is taking place in the world. And it's not just a blue moon, it's a micro blue moon. This is a sign. This is a massive sign. And along with these planetary alignments, the Lord is just letting us know that he's about to destroy this place. He is destroying this place, and it's only going to get worse and worse. Apparently, they're working on a deal with Iran. I gotta give it to them, man. They dumb as bricks, man. You know what I'm saying? I see how they're moving it. It's political. It's you got to play the game, I guess. But why would you continue to trust Esau? You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, let's write a deal. There's never been a deal that Esau can write that has went past the hands of time. I know the Moors say, well, our treaty is the only treaty that America still honors. They don't, though. You know what I'm saying? They don't. I remember they pulled over some Moors on the side of a highway, and they try to play I'm a Moor, so your laws don't affect me. They say, all right, we're going to talk about that while you locked up. And they had to run. They ran into the woods. Like, that didn't sound like that treaty was honored then and there. Okay. So just like what happened with Gad, every treaty that they write is not worth the paper it's printed on. So anyway, at this point, they just bombed Iran again. They bombed them like 2 days ago. Now they bombed them again, and they're saying they bombed them the first time because it was self-defense. It was self-defense. We didn't know what to do. We were scared, so we bombed them. But then you look at how far the United States is and compared to Iran. Like, what do you mean self-defense? You can't run up on somebody, you know what I'm saying, put a gun to their head and shoot them and say, oh, self-defense. Oh, no. You weren't retreating. You weren't doing nothing like that. You're the aggressor. And that's America. They just pure, like, bullies. So now they bombed them again. So pretty much just waiting for Iran to realize that they're just keep doing this every other day. You know what I mean? Every other day, they're going to bomb you and say, oh, my bad. Hopefully this peace treaty holds up. 2 days later, bomb them. Hopefully the peace treaty holds up. Do you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, once you realize somebody's the devil, you just got to, you know, take note of that and move accordingly.
God.
But Iran's on some, you know, maybe they'll get it together type time. I don't know. But anyway, here's what's going to happen this Saturday. Blue moons.
On the night of May 31st, I recommend looking up. A highly misunderstood astronomical event is about to pass overhead. Despite what you might see scrolling through social media, this moon will not physically turn blue, nor will it expand into a massive supermoon. In fact, it will do the exact opposite. It will be the smallest full moon of the entire calendar year. And once it sets, an event with these exact orbital conditions will not happen again until the year 2053. The strange part is that the popular label for this event, the blue moon, only exists because of a decades-old publishing error. To see the sky for what it actually is, we have to move past the social media myths and examine a linguistic mistake that still dictates how we label the moon today. To the naked eye, the moon on May 31st will look completely familiar. It will be bright, white, and look like any other full moon. Timing is what typically defines our lunar calendar. Usually, the moon reaches its full phase only once per month, but as this calendar shows, occasionally a single month can fit too. Following the flower moon that occurred on May 1st, a second full moon lands on the 31st. Today, we call that second arrival a blue moon. That modern definition, however, comes from an accidental misunderstanding printed in an old astronomy publication. In the mid-20th century, broadcasters reading from scripts blindly repeated that specific printing error over the radio. Early television networks picked up the story and broadcasted to millions. The error was repeated so widely that the public accepted it as fact. But while a communications error gave this moon its famous name, the actual scientific rarity of May 31st has nothing to do with calendars. It is entirely about distance. The moon's path around Earth is not a perfect circle. It is a stretched ellipse. When the moon travels to the closest point, astronomers call it perigee, the phenomenon known as a supermoon. Apogee sits on the exact opposite end, the orbital point farthest from Earth. On May 31st, the moon reaches its extreme farthest point of the entire calendar year, creating what is known as a micromoon. Because of that extreme distance, it will appear roughly 7 to 14% smaller than an average moon or a supermoon. It will also appear up to 30% dimmer in the night sky. You might not detect that exact physical shrinkage with the naked eye unless you compare photographs side by side, but the psychological impact is real. The moon feels quiet, isolated, and distant. The event on May 31st is entirely defined by the moon taking its maximum physical step back from Earth, offering a stark visual contrast to the massive supermoons that usually dominate headlines. The calendar quirk of a blue moon happens on a regular basis. Micromoons happen regularly too. The rarity lies in these two completely separate, independent cycles locking into place at the exact same time. That precise overlap creates the micro blue moon. And once this specific alignment passes, the celestial mechanics will not overlap this way again for 27 years. The true value of this moment is its fleeting rarity, a quiet instance of cosmic clockwork that most people will sleep right through. Counterintuitively, the best time to watch this alignment is the evening before the official fullness, May 30th. Step outside shortly after sunset and look toward the eastern horizon to catch the moon rising. You do not need to rely on an observatory or any expensive astronomical equipment to witness this, just your eyes and a clear sky. Once you locate the moon, look for a distinct glowing orange-red object situated nearby in the darkness. That is Antares, a giant red star, often compared to Mars because of its deep color. Pairing Earth's smallest full moon directly beside a distant red giant provides a solitary, profound moment of scale before decades pass. The night sky is constantly shifting and aligning in subtle ways, yet most of humanity never notices the changes occurring overhead. A micro blue moon is a reminder that the celestial geometry above us follows its own clock, independent of the calendars we print. If you enjoyed this journey into the night sky, subscribe to Space
All right. Yeah. A micro blue moon. Not a micro moon, not a blue moon, but a micro blue moon. You know what I'm talking about? Then I say this stuff is gonna be hard to be believed. From the volcanoes to the sinkholes to the earthquakes. Hey, lots going down. And let's not forget the wars and rumors of wars. We just talked about Iran, but when's the last time you sat down and thought about Ukraine and Russia? Sleeping giant Russia. Now, their nuclear triad, they just tested it. They have remember we talked about the Satan II? That was like a concept at one point. You know, Russia is going to have a nuclear weapon that could shoot 10 nuclear weapons out and hit 10 different places. That was a concept. It is live now. And it's only a matter of time before they shoot it. It's called Satan II because it's geared to blow up America, which it's called the Great Satan. And why is America called the Great Satan? We can go back as far as you want, but more recently, our government is run by cannibalistic pedophiles that kidnap children and bring them to islands. It don't get more evil than that. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Isaiah 24:19, because this place is prophesied to get destroyed. Do not, worry about you just put new tires on the car. You know what I'm saying? You just got one more payment. This car is mine. You know what I mean? I just planted a new garden. Like, don't be Lot's wife. Don't look at this place like it's going to be lasting very much longer. Okay, this place is done, kaput, destroyed. Okay, Khan, can you bring it out?
Khan, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 24, in verse number 19. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly.
Khan, read on.
The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgressions thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again.
Khan, this place is going to get blown up. You know what I'm saying? The earth is going to be exceedingly rocked by thermonuclear destruction. Okay, now let's get that. You know what I mean? Let's check out what Russia is doing and what happened that made Russia get into this mind state. Now, obviously, they've been at war for some years now, but the recent events is Ukraine launched a missile attack on a college, and Russia's like, yo, this, we talked about this before. Russia's like, yo, they're not warriors. They're not soldiers. You just try to, you killing our youth, the future generations, this, that, and the third. And Ukrainians know what they're doing with that, and Ukraine is really what? Just NATO, just a bunch of NATO countries. The United States, it's the United States proxy fight against Russia. So that's why they got that Satan too. You know what I'm saying? Well, it's gonna be bad. All right. So let's check it out. Yep. It's gonna be a bad job.
Russia has just concluded its massive nuclear drills that it held jointly with Belarus. 64,000 troops and over 200 missile launches, more than 140 aircraft and 13 submarines were involved in showcasing Moscow's ultimate deterrence. against any foreign aggression. And this, of course, is its nuclear triad. Russia showcased its land-based RS-24 Yars intercontinental ballistic missile. It has a 3-stage solid fuel rocket, an operational range of about 11,000 to 12,000 kilometers, and it also carries several warheads because it is MIRV equipped and the missile is nuclear capable. Moscow also test-fired the R-29 RMU Sineva missile. It's a submarine-launched ballistic missile with a 3-stage liquid propellant rocket, a range of over 8,000 kilometers, and can reportedly carry up to 4 warheads. And the missile is also nuclear capable. To complete the showcasing of its nuclear triad, Russia released footage of its Kinzhal hypersonic missile that was fired from the MiG-31 fighter jet. The Kinzhal is an air-launched ballistic missile. It has an operational range of about 2,000 kilometers. It is powered by a solid propellant rocket. It can carry either a conventional warhead or a low-yield nuclear payload as well. Now, those weren't the only nuclear-capable weapons that Russia showcased. It also test-fired a Zircon intercontinental ballistic missile from a frigate. Now, this, again, is a hypersonic cruise missile, which is also nuclear-capable. And there were images of other weapons that were tested. And this, remember, is a show of force by Russia in the wake of what is happening in Ukraine.
The use of such weaponry, specifically nuclear weapons, constitutes an extreme, exceptional measure for ensuring the national security of our states. At the same time, given rising global tensions and the emergence of new threats and risks, our nuclear triad must, as always, serve as a reliable guarantor of the sovereignty of the Union State of Russia and Belarus and ensure the fulfillment of strategic deterrence objectives as well as the maintenance of nuclear parity and the balance of power at the global level.
Russian President Vladimir Putin oversaw the final stage of the drill with his Belarusian counterpart Alexander Lukashenko. Both leaders insisted that they did not pose a threat to anyone, but they were ready to defend their homelands in case of foreign aggression. A nuclear triad gives a country multiple ways to launch nuclear weapons. The naval part of the triad, specifically the nuclear-armed submarines, give a nation the crucial second strike capability. Since submarines are mobile and hard to detect, a country may use them to launch a retaliatory second strike nuclear attacks, even if their conventional military bases and silos have been targeted. Now, Putin has said that these latest joint drills with Belarus were planned decades ago, apparently, but they happened to coincide with a surge in Ukrainian attacks and continued tensions with European NATO members. And therefore, the scale and scope of these drills were a show of force and a reminder that Moscow has plenty left in its arsenal. For all the latest news, download.
Yeah, so, okay, let's get 2nd Ezra, chapter 16 and verse 5. Now, they got those weapons. They're going to use those weapons. Do you know what I'm saying? This has been going on. I mean, obviously beforehand. If you think about Russia has been the enemy of the United States as long as I can remember, right? Through my lifetime. When you see Rocky IV and it's versus the Russians, you see Die Hard 2 and it's the Ruskies, or you know what I mean, the Eastern Europeans, they've always been the enemy in Hollywood. So America has pretty much been brainwashed to think that these guys are the worst people on the planet. And then when you hear Putin talk, he's like, yo, man, I just, you know, I don't like that LGBT stuff coming in my neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Like that's y'all thing. Like, I don't think it's a good idea to have grown men, you know, abusing children. I don't think that's a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, hold up. You know, so we've been conditioned to think that they've been the worst people on the planet when in actuality, the people that were doing the conditioning were the worst people on the planet. And Hollywood, of course, is owned by Amalek. You know what I mean? And you see how Amalek is down. Epstein is Amalek. He's an Amalekite, okay? But we see that the Most High has kept this advanced weaponry in Russia. Russia has the Russian icons let you know who is, you know, what Jesus looked like according to, you know, paintings, and see Jesus, Yahushua, obviously, what God Most High looked like, the angels, prophets, you know what I'm saying? You go through their museums and see, oh, they're all black people. And, you know, in order to house that type of information, you got to have nuclear weapons, because the white man's like, I'm going to destroy that. We don't need that information getting out. But too late. And this process has been in motion recently since 2014 with the overthrow of the Ukrainian government, Poroshenko and them, right? And now they got Zelensky in there doing anything that the white man tells them to do. So now the nukes are coming out. Now they're testing the nukes. Let's bring that out, King.
Hey, Salaki, quick thing. Was that Rocky 4 when he was fighting against Ivan Drago?
Was it 4?
I think it was.
Might be 3. I don't know. That's a good question.
3 was a Club of Lane.
Okay.
No, 3 or 2? Yeah, I think it's Rocky 4. But yeah, it's Rocky 4. It's Rocky 4. But you know what's funny, in Rocky 4, Apollo Creed got the American shorts, boxing shorts and everything in the boxing ring, and that symbolized Jake fighting for America.
God.
And the Russians looking like, yo, this ain't even your fight. Like, this ain't, like, I'm supposed to be fighting a white guy. This ain't why you in my business. So Apollo Creed is fighting for America, and he dies in the ring against Ivan Drago, the Russians fighting for America. And then a white man comes in. Who is it? Rocky comes in at the end to try to avenge his death.
Gotta
like, come on, man.
Yeah, gotta save him. You know what I'm saying? Always gotta have a white savior in there.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, the white man got to come in and save us and clean up all the mess. You know, nah, it should have been the other way around. Yeah, man, that's a funny movie.
And loving America, loving you, man.
They talking about with the speech. If you can change, we can change. Everybody can change. Right. Everybody all to come together. Like, Esau is the hero of the story and everything, all of that stuff. And the Russians are the villains, when actually it's the other way around. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny, man. That was a good movie, though. So, Second Ledger 16 and 5. Yeah, this Second Ledger chapter 16 and verse 5. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?
So calamity. It doesn't have to be Ebola, even though Ebola is out now. The Congolese, apparently no showers, no soap. Here comes Ebola again, right? Whatever, you know, how's that keep happening? But it doesn't have to be hantavirus. You know, it's calamity, destruction. Plagues that come to you. Read on.
May any man drive away a hungry lion in the wood? Or may anyone quench the fire in stubble when it have begun to burn?
So this has been a burning process. And I noticed 2014, we in 2026, 12 years. You know what I mean? Of the overthrow of the Ukrainian government to where we're at now. So this fire has been beginning to burn. There's nobody putting this out. You know what I mean? Like, NATO can't just say, all right, we're done, my bad. It's a little late for that. Russia's like, we might, you know, we're going to take over Ukraine. You know, they told people to get out of Kiev, you know what I mean? Because they're about to launch, like, hypersonic missiles. They could possibly be nuclear tipped, you know. Read on.
May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer?
You can't turn back these hypersonic missiles. You can't turn back these missiles that we just saw, those 3-part, you know what I mean? Submarine, the triad, the submarine, the ground base, you know, the ones from the fighter jets. You know, they're all, you know, 100% ready to go. And here's a fun fact, right? It's hilarious, because this is when Donald Trump was aiming to be president and Marco Rubio was running against him. They asked Donald Trump, what do you think about our nuclear triad? He's like, oh, our nuclear triad's one of the best in the world. And, you know, with me, I'll make it the best nuclear triad, because once I seen the triad, I brought the triad to America. And then once that happened, then, triad's gotten better, and and that's what I'm going to bring to the table. And Marco Rubio was like real calm, like, since Donald Trump has no idea what he's talking about, I'll inform him that the nuclear triad is from our nuclears, from the air to the base in the ground, level, and from the submarines. That's the three things that bring up our nuclear triad. So Donald Trump had no idea what a nuclear triad was. I'm saying this guy, that's who the Most High has running the show. You know what I'm saying? No accident behind that. You know what I mean? Because he's just dumb as a brick. He's somebody that would push that button. You know what I mean? So, it's not going to stop. Once that arrow is shot, you can't put the bullet back in the gun. Okay? Can you read verse 8?
Verse 8, the mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away?
You know what I mean? Nobody. Okay? Let's say, while some brothers are fighting so hard to grant the white man salvation, Yahweh is getting ready to judge them. Thank you. You get it. You know what I'm saying? My brother gets it. Like, look, yeah, why is it like, you know what I mean? People fighting, oh, let's talk about this, talk about that. Y'all ain't paying attention to what's going on. Y'all missing the boat?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You better make sure you make it. You Esau and everybody else, you gotta seek out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Everybody, so I remember I was waiting for Christian was on our spot, camp spot, and somebody asked him a question. He's like, "Oh, I'm making it to Kingdom Heaven. I'm making it to Kingdom Heaven." He don't follow no laws, no nothing, but he's confident that he's gonna make it. So what's the difference between some of these Israelites that are so confident they're gonna make it that I could bring in the other nations and this, that, and the third? That's just madness, man. Madness and folly. But as you see, there's nukes involved. It's time to get right, before you get left. Let's get Isaiah 24 and 21. Look what he's doing to the kings of the earth. Like some queen, quote unquote, from Norway, right? She's in the hospital. She's all messed up. Netanyahu went in the hospital. He's messed up. Trump went in the hospital. He messed up. Most High is snatching crowns, man. He's snatching crowns. I thought the whole thing with Netanyahu and Trump, I'm like, okay, I seen that. I'm like, they might launch a war right now because they pretend they're in the hospital. But come to find out, like, them dudes is really in the hospital at the same time. All right, let's bring that out, King.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 24 and verse number 21. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the hosts of the high ones that are on high, and the kings of the earth upon the earth.
And look, how many places got to explode before we realize something's going on? It was a chemical explosion in where was that at? I think somewhere in California. An explosion happened in Washington State, Staten Island, I think it was, somewhere over there in New York. They had an explosion where all these firefighters got hurt, and it seems like everywhere on the planet, not the planet, but everywhere in the United States, places are just exploding, man. You know what I mean? And I think the one in Washington, they can't even like find the people, or they can't even go in there. It's too dangerous. You know what I mean? The chemical explosion in California, I didn't hear too much about it as a result, but they were saying like it's either going to explode or it's going to melt down or whatever like that. And I seen one report that it exploded. I'm not sure if that's true, so don't quote me on that because I didn't get backup information behind it. But this place is getting destroyed. You know what I'm saying? Like, how many places can explode and people don't figure out what's going on? Like, if the government said, hold on, I think China is doing this or Iran's doing this, they ain't saying nothing. And then at the same time, everything's happening. So which one is it? Is it another country doing this, or is the Most High just happen to, either way, it's the Most High, but just happen to have these places explode once a day. You know what I mean? But let's see what's happening to Donald Trump. Real quick joint. Donald Trump and Netanyahu stuck in the spittle. You know, they want to give $1.78 billion, $1.776 billion to the white supremacists in January 6th. And come to find out, he ends up in the hospital. We talked about that last week. And won't he do it?
Both Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu are in the hospital on the same day. Seriously. And they're both saying they're at the hospital for dental work. Seriously. So late last night around 11 p.m., Benjamin Netanyahu, Prime Minister of Israel, was rushed to a hospital. No explanation. When it was uncovered that he was rushed to the hospital, his team leaked to their regime media in Israel that it was because of a dental visit and he had to have some emergency dental work. We'll dig into it. I'll show you what went down there. At the same time, Donald Trump going to the hospital today. He's going to Walter Reed. What's Trump's team saying about this visit? They say, well, it's a physical and he's having major dental work done. Now, early in May, they said he had dental work being done in Florida when he was by his golf club there. And then back in January, he said that he was having dental work done as well when he kind of mysteriously disappeared. So lots of dental work happening where both Netanyahu and Trump are being swept away, apparently, to hospitals, and they're both apparently covering up their declining health. I mean, we know that Netanyahu had cancer, and Netanyahu's prognosis by all accounts, and again, my opinion, but by the accounts, was not looking good. There seems to be a lot of cover-up taking place there. And the same way we're asking questions here in the United States about our authoritarian here, the way they're saying that about their authoritarian Israel, there's a massive cover-up seemingly here in the United States about Donald Trump's declining cognitive and physical condition. And both Netanyahu and Trump's cover-ups appear to be coming to light on the exact same day. I think there's a name for that. So first, let's talk about Netanyahu. So the news broke late last night that Prime Minister Netanyahu was currently at the Hadassah Medical Center in Jerusalem. His office, the Prime Minister office, said he was undergoing dental treatment around 11 p.m. at night. Here's how the Times of Israel reported it. Netanyahu taken to a Jerusalem hospital. His office says it's for dental work. Prime Minister's health has become a major focus after revelation of a cancer diagnosis, criticism of medical information being withheld from the public. I'll pause there because I want to go through what's going on in Israel. But doesn't it seem that both of these authoritarians want to leave their last destructive mark by basically destroying the entire world during their final days? Don't you have an opinion that at least it seems that that could be what both of them, are doing? And they've both been deranged their entire life, but there seems to be this kind of extra recognition of mortality and leaving their marks in the most destructive and catastrophic way possible. Because when I read the story about Netanyahu, it basically reads like Trump's situation right now. Prime Minister Netanyahu taken to the Hadassah Medical Center Monday evening around 11 p.m., his office said, adding that the Prime Minister was receiving unspecified dental treatment. Sure, the Prime Minister's office, everything these guys say are lies, like literally everything. The Prime Minister's office issued the statement after Hebrew media reported that he had been taken to the hospital. The 76-year-old's health has become a major focus after several incidents that exposed him to criticism over the withholding of medical information from the public. They have led to considerable speculation among many in Israel about the Prime Minister's overall health. Last month, Netanyahu revealed in a lengthy social media post that he had recently undergone successful radiation treatment at Hadassah for a malignant tumor in his prostate, but had held off on informing the public, claiming Iran would have used the information to spread propaganda against Israel in the midst of the recent war. So the same way Netanyahu and Trump trade kind of war crime strategies? Do they also share the let's blame it that we're going to a dental office strategy and just think people are so stupid, and they each have their regime media? Trump has his Fox regime media. Israel has their regime media, and nobody will question it. Well, guess what? We question it here at the Midas Touch Network. It goes on to say, Prime Minister Netanyahu did not specify when he was diagnosed, when he began treatment, or when treatment had ended. Netanyahu's announcement was accompanied by the release of his annual health report, along with an additional document on his cancer diagnosis and treatment, though the report consisted of 5 vague bullet points covering half a page and did not even say what year it covered. Sound familiar? How about Donald Trump's April 2025 report, where they said his health is evidenced by the fact that he's a good golfer who wins many golf championships at his courses. By the way, Trump cheats at all of his golf championships and just gives himself W's, gives himself wins when he's actually losing. Oh, and then they covered up that Donald Trump was getting an MRI by just saying advanced imaging, and then lied about the MRI and then said it was a CT scan. Remember that whole lie back in October and December of 2025? This goes on to say, neither document from Netanyahu bore a hospital logo or any indication that they were formal medical statements. Sound familiar? Netanyahu also had a pacemaker implanted in July 2023, a hernia surgery in March 2024, and a prostate removal surgery in December 2024 as well. It's Netanyahu. Let's take a look at Trump's schedule today. He's at Walter Reed for most of the day. He'll arrive at Walter Reed early in this morning. They claim that he will be greeting service members and that that's why he's going to be spending a lot of time there. Then they say he's going to be doing dental work. Here's the statement back on May 11, 2026 from the Trump propagandist in the White House. Donald Trump will visit Walter Reed National Military Medical Center on May 26 for his annual dental and medical evaluations and to visit with the men and women of the military. This will include the president's routine annual dental and medical assessments as part of his regular preventative health care. The president will also spend time with service members and staff at Walter Reed in recognition of their service, professionalism, and dedication to the nation. Additional details regarding the president's schedule will be released at a later date. Note, January 10th, 2026, Donald Trump, good morning from Palm Beach. This was the press pool. The motorcade is rolling from Mar-a-Lago at 7:45 a.m. From the White House, President Trump is going to a scheduled dental appointment at his local dentist in Florida, January 10th, 2026. How about Saturday, May 2nd, 2026? White House travel pool with POTUS, going to dentist. POTUS motorcade arrived at nearby office park from the White House. On background from the White House, President Trump is going to a scheduled dental appointment at his local dentist in Florida. Okay, red flags galore right there. So let me just talk about Trump in the past 12 hours. So yesterday at the Memorial Day event where Donald Trump mocked our service members and tried to make jokes about how there's no one named Donald at the Arlington Cemetery, which was just disgusting. And then Donald Trump mocked our country by calling Democrats Democrats and then started attacking former President Obama and Biden and making deranged social media posts while also building a UFC stadium in front of the White House and then looking at the pillars of the White House, because Trump's latest is that he wants to destroy the White House pillars and replace them with Corinthian golden pillars. That's what he wants to do. Corinthian pillars.
We've got some big news that is blowing my mind that it's not.
All right, so that's good. That's good on that. Let's get 2 Maccabees chapter 3 and verse 27. He's not doing too good. He's falling apart. Netanyahu's falling apart. Hey, I'm all for it. Go ahead, King. You can bring it out.
This is the book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 3 and verse 27. And Heliodorus fell suddenly unto the ground and was compassed with great darkness. But they that were with him took him up and put him into a litter.
You gotta prop him up, man. You know what I'm saying? Dude's falling apart. He's falling apart. There's nothing that. How you gonna stop him? How you gonna stop Yahweh Shem Yahushai? You can't. Check him out, man. Bull's in bad shape. You gotta keep going to dentist appointments. gotta put an IV in him. You know what I'm saying? Give him some life. Put him out there for everybody to see. All right, look, we still got our puppet. We still got our puppet. Your puppet is falling apart. You know? And we asked Yahweh Shem Yahushai to do this last week, and look what we got. You know what I'm saying? So all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know what I mean? Get this dude, you know, in a position where, you know, he's going to react. He's going to react, and he's going to make mistakes. He's already making mistakes. You know what I mean? Disrespecting the children of Israel, huge mistake. And blasphemous mistake, pretending to be Jesus. You know what I mean? Pretending to be Yahushai. We sitting at the bedpost tending. This is an AI picture, tending to Epstein. You know what I mean? Jeffrey Epstein as he's in the bed. Demons in the background. Boy, sick. You know. What he say? He said getting all that human flesh out of his gums. God. Oh man. Old boy's falling apart. And we asked Yahweh Shem Yahushai to please continue on with this and, you know, bring him to his knees. His disrespect is going far beyond need be. All right, so like we said last week, we're going to talk about toilet paper. This is the health section. You know, we were talking about what to do as far as this type of tea, this type of, you know what I mean? Well, no medical advice, right? But this is known to treat this. This is known to help with this, you know, this, that, and the third. We talked about that, right? Different foods, different teas and all that. Exercise, meditation, water, walking, all that good stuff. Now, talk about what not to do. You know what I mean? What you should consider, at least, not what not to do, but something that you should think about, something to think about, right? With this, talk about toilet paper, right? Different toilet papers. You're like, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? I get whatever's on sale, right? So now, come to find out, they've been looking into the analysis. Shout out to Yash, sent me this video, looking at the analysis on different toilet papers. And you know, last week we did soap, so now we're going to do the toilet paper. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 and 27.
God.
And we got it. Bring it out, okay.
God. This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse number 27. The Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch, whereof thou canst not be healed.
God. Okay, so apparently the toilet paper is messing people up, you know what I mean, causing discomfort. Okay, I'm not going to get too deep into it. We're just going to watch it. It's a video about 20 minutes long. We're not going to watch the whole 20 minutes, but at least I don't think we are, you know what I mean? But I want to highlight some of these different toilet papers that it ain't all it's cracked up to be. Okay, now you're probably asking, what toilet paper should I use? Well, that's entirely up to you, but I don't know if I haven't watched this whole video, so I don't know if they actually give recommendations on different toilet papers, but no pun intended, just check it out. And you know, the link is
residues you cannot
Chassadyah. So the video is called 11 toilet paper brands to avoid and 2 that are worth it. Maybe we'll skip to the 2 that are worth it, but we'll watch a little bit of this. Without further ado, here we go.
Toilet paper seems like the simplest, safest product in your home. You reach for it without thinking, trusting that something so basic couldn't possibly harm you. But for seniors with sensitive skin, compromised immune systems, or chronic conditions, hidden dangers lurk in every roll. From formaldehyde-laced sheets to chemical residues that trigger infections and rashes, some brands betray the trust you place in them every single day. Today, we're exposing 11 toilet paper brands you should avoid at all costs, and the 2 that are actually safe for your health. Coming in at number 11, we've got Angel Soft. Marketed as gentle and budget-friendly, Angel Soft promises cloud-like softness for families on a tight budget. Walk down any grocery aisle and you'll see the pastel packaging, the reassuring tagline, the image of comfort that feels trustworthy. The brand built its reputation on being affordable without sacrificing gentleness. But laboratory testing has revealed traces of BPA in the paper fibers, a chemical linked to hormone disruption and cardiovascular issues. For seniors already managing blood pressure or heart medications, BPA exposure can interfere with treatment effectiveness, quietly sabotaging the very pills you depend on to stay alive. Consumer complaints consistently mention unexplained skin irritation and urinary tract discomfort after use. One woman in Ohio reported a burning sensation that lasted for days, only to discover her new toilet paper was the culprit. She described the feeling as if her skin was on fire, a stinging that wouldn't go away no matter how many times she washed. The brand advertises purity, but what you're wiping with may be quietly undermining your health. Seniors with diabetes or weakened immune systems are especially vulnerable to infections triggered by chemical residues that healthy bodies might shrug off. The soft touch you expect becomes a hidden betrayal when microscopic toxins transfer to the most sensitive areas of your body, areas with membranes designed to absorb, not repel. According to a 2022 consumer safety study, nearly 18% of adults over 65 reported adverse skin reactions to personal care products containing BPA derivatives, yet most never connected their symptoms to something as mundane as toilet paper. The texture feels pleasant enough, almost cottony against your fingertips when you first touch it. But that softness is achieved through chemical processing that leaves behind residues you cannot see or smell, residues that accumulate in your body with every single use, day after day, month after month. At number 10, Quilted Northern. This brand boasts plush quilted layers that promise superior comfort and strength. The television ads show families smiling, the product looking thick and luxurious, as if you're wrapping yourself in premium fabric. The raised diamond pattern catches the eye on store shelves, suggesting quality and care. Yet multiple batches have been flagged for containing chlorine bleach residues far exceeding safe levels for prolonged skin contact. When you tear off a sheet, sometimes you can detect a faint chemical smell, like swimming pool water mixed with something sharper, more industrial. Seniors with kidney issues or those on diuretics face heightened risk, as chlorine compounds can exacerbate urinary inflammation and worsen existing conditions. Dermatologists have reported increasing cases of contact dermatitis linked to heavily bleached toilet paper, with patients presenting red, inflamed skin that burns to the touch. One dermatologist in Boston noted a 34% increase in such cases over the past 2 years. The quilted texture, meant to feel luxurious, actually traps more chemicals between layers, pressing them directly against your body with every use. Independent lab tests found formaldehyde traces in certain production runs, a known carcinogen and skin irritant that has no business being anywhere near your bathroom. For seniors with sensitive skin or chronic conditions like interstitial cystitis, each use becomes a gamble with your comfort and health. One retired nurse from Florida shared that after switching to Quilted Northern, she developed a painful rash that required prescription medication to heal. She said the itching was so intense she couldn't sleep, and the redness spread across areas she never expected. The brand promises gentle care, but the reality is harsh chemicals pressed against your most vulnerable tissues, day after day, quietly causing damage you might not notice until it's serious. The plushness you feel is an illusion covering a chemical reality your skin pays for later. Now at number 9, Cottonelle. Cottonelle markets itself as dermatologist-tested and safe for sensitive skin, with packaging that radiates trustworthiness and care. The blue and white colors suggest cleanliness and medical approval, as if doctors themselves recommended this brand. The clean ripple texture looks innovative and science-backed, but in 2020, the brand issued a massive recall due to potential bacterium contamination that could cause urinary tract infections and other serious issues. Imagine reaching for your toilet paper one morning, not knowing that invisible bacteria are coating every sheet, waiting to transfer to your body. Seniors are disproportionately affected by UTIs, which can escalate into kidney infections or sepsis if untreated, turning a bathroom product into a genuine medical emergency. Even after the recall, consumer reports continued to surface about mysterious rashes and burning sensations after use. People described feeling like they'd been exposed to something caustic, a burning that intensified over hours. The brand's clean ripple texture is advertised as superior cleaning, but that same texture can harbor bacteria if manufacturing standards slip even slightly. The raised ridges create pockets where microorganisms can hide, surviving the packaging process and multiplying in the warm, dark environment of your bathroom cabinet. For seniors on blood thinners or immune-suppressing medications, a contaminated roll isn't just uncomfortable, it's dangerous, potentially life-threatening. The promise of clean comfort hides the risk of invisible microbial threats transferring directly to your body. One gentleman in Texas ended up hospitalized with a severe infection that doctors traced back to contaminated toilet paper, a nightmare scenario that never should have happened. He spent 5 days receiving intravenous antibiotics, all because he trusted a brand name. A 2021 analysis found that bacterial contamination in personal hygiene products led to over 14,000 emergency room visits among adults over 60, with toilet paper identified as a contributing factor in nearly a quarter of cases. The texture that promises enhanced cleanliness becomes a breeding ground for the very problems it claims to prevent. Coming in at number 8, Scott 1000. Advertised as long-lasting and economical, Scott 1000 is a staple in many senior households trying to stretch fixed incomes as far as possible. The single-ply sheets seem like a practical choice, a way to save money without sacrificing necessity. The no-frills packaging suggests honesty, straightforwardness, value without pretense. But the ultra-thin sheets are treated with harsh chemicals to prevent tearing, including optical brighteners that can trigger allergic reactions in sensitive individuals. When you hold a sheet up to the light, it looks almost translucent, paper-thin in the most literal sense. Seniors with eczema or psoriasis report flare-ups after switching to this brand, with itching and cracked skin that takes weeks to heal. One woman in Arizona said her skin became so dry and inflamed after using Scott 1000 that she could barely sit comfortably, and the cracking bled in places. The thinness means more contact pressure and friction, increasing risk of micro tears in delicate skin, especially for those with circulation issues or diabetes. When your skin doesn't heal as quickly as it used to, even tiny injuries become serious problems that can take months to fully resolve. Lab analysis has detected phthalates in the paper, chemicals known to disrupt endocrine function and worsen cardiovascular conditions. For someone managing heart disease or thyroid problems, this daily exposure adds up, accumulating in your system faster than your aging body can eliminate it. The brand promises value, but the cost to your health may be far higher than any money you save. Each sheet may save you a few cents, but the hidden chemical load quietly accumulates in your system over months and years. The rough texture feels like sandpaper against already sensitive skin, nothing like the gentle touch your body needs. Testing revealed that phthalate levels in Scott 1000 were 41% higher than the industry average. Do you ever wonder why budget products always seem to come with hidden costs your body pays later? At number 7, we have Charmin Ultra Strong. Charmin's bear mascot and Enjoy the Go slogan suggest carefree comfort and family friendliness. The commercials are cute, the branding playful and approachable, making you feel like this is a product designed with your well-being in mind. The cartoon bears dancing around make it seem harmless, almost childlike in its innocence. But beneath the marketing lies a different story, one the company would prefer you never discover. The ultra-strong formula relies on synthetic binders and resins that don't fully break down, leading to plumbing issues and, more critically, lingering chemical residue on skin. Seniors with hemorrhoids or rectal sensitivity report increased pain and irritation after use, a problem that turns a daily necessity into a source of dread. Some describe feeling like they're wiping with coated paper, something that leaves behind a film that won't rinse away. The brand uses fragrances to mask chemical odors, but those same fragrances contain allergens linked to respiratory issues and skin reactions. For seniors with COPD or asthma, even indirect exposure during bathroom use can trigger breathing difficulties, coughing fits, or wheezing that lasts for hours. One man with emphysema reported that he had to leave his bathroom window open year-round just to use Charmin without triggering an attack, even in winter. Independent testing found that Charmin's stronger sheets contain higher concentrations of volatile organic compounds compared to competitors, chemicals that off-gas into the air you breathe in that small enclosed space. The brand promises strength, but what it delivers is a cocktail of hidden irritants pressed against your body multiple times a day. One Pennsylvania woman reported that after switching to Charmin Ultra Strong, she developed respiratory symptoms so severe she thought she had developed adult-onset asthma, only to have them disappear completely when she changed brands. Her doctor was baffled until they connected the timing to her toilet paper purchase. The strong sheets feel almost plastic-coated, with a slick surface that doesn't break down naturally and carries that distinct chemical scent you can't quite place, but know isn't natural. Number 6 is Great Value Ultra Strong. Walmart's house brand promises affordability without compromise, appealing to shoppers who need to make every dollar count. The price is attractive, the packaging basic but functional, suggesting no-nonsense value. It sits on the bottom shelf, the budget option that promises to do the job. But manufacturing shortcuts tell a different story that only comes to light when something goes wrong. Reports from production facilities reveal inconsistent quality control, with some batches containing wood splinters and unprocessed fiber fragments that should never make it into a finished product. Imagine discovering a splinter in the last place you'd ever want one, a sharp piece of wood embedded in delicate tissue. For seniors with sensitive rectal tissue or those recovering from surgery, these fragments can cause painful abrasions or infections that require medical treatment. The bleaching process used on great value products leaves higher than average dioxin residues, compounds linked to immune system suppression, and increased cancer risk over time. Seniors already managing chronic conditions face compounded risk from repeated daily exposure, as their bodies are less able to filter and eliminate these toxins. Consumer complaints frequently mention unusual chemical smells, a sharp, acrid odor that fills the bathroom, and burning sensations during use. People describe it as smelling like bleach mixed with something sour, an unnatural scent that lingers on your hands even after washing. The brand promises great value, but the hidden cost is measured in urinary tract infections, skin inflammation, and unknown long-term chemical exposure. A 2023 consumer watchdog investigation found that store-brand toilet paper products had 23% higher rates of customer complaints related to irritation and contamination compared to name-brand alternatives. One couple in Alabama reported that both of them developed urinary tract infections within the same week of switching to Great Value, something their doctor said was highly unusual. The texture varies wildly from package to package, sometimes relatively soft, sometimes rough enough to scratch, as if quality control simply doesn't exist. Now at number 5.
Okay, so I'm speed up a little bit. Matter of fact, well, after the 7th generation, because people definitely use that 100% recycle. So think getting a better deal. So after this, I'll move forward to safer alternatives.
7th generation, marketed as eco-friendly and chemical-free, 7th generation appeals to health-conscious consumers, especially seniors worried about toxins in their daily lives. The brown paper, the recycled labeling, the environmental messaging all suggest a company that cares about your well-being, a brand with values that align with conscious living. The earthy packaging makes you feel good about your purchase, as if you're protecting both yourself and the planet. But recent investigations revealed that some unbleached varieties still undergo chemical processing that leaves behind industrial residues you're not supposed to know about. The rough, recycled texture can cause micro abrasions in seniors with thin skin or poor circulation, creating tiny entry points for bacteria. It feels scratchy, coarse, like wiping with cardboard that hasn't been processed enough to become truly soft. More concerning, some batches tested positive for bacterial contamination due to insufficient sterilization during the recycling process. For seniors with compromised immune systems, this represents a serious infection risk that could land you in the hospital. The brand promises environmental responsibility, but delivers potential health hazards hidden beneath green marketing. Statistics show that UTI rates among seniors using recycled toilet paper increased by 18% in one regional study conducted in Oregon. The green packaging hides what laboratory tests reveal: contamination risks that your body absorbs with every use. One California woman who prided herself on buying eco-friendly products ended up with a kidney infection that required intravenous antibiotics, all because she trusted packaging claims over product safety. She said she felt betrayed, as if her attempt to do the right thing for the environment had been used against her health. The brown color looks natural, but that doesn't mean safe, and the rough texture tears easily, forcing you to use more and exposing yourself to more potential contamination with each use. If this is helping you understand what's really in your bathroom...
Okay, so let's move forward to where they have the something that they recommend, I guess, type of toilet paper.
Never learn how to protect themselves from these hidden bathroom dangers, but we'll break it down at the end of the video. Stay with me. The 2 brands that are actually worth buying. After exposing all these dangerous products, you deserve to know what's actually safe, what you can trust to
protect Salaki, can you hear me?
Your health.
Yeah, I would say if you're able to, still let it play out, just to show people to listen of things that they should get and what to watch out for. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. What about right here?
With every use. One California woman who prided herself on buying investigations. Coming in at number 4, Kirkland's Signature Bath Tissue. Costco's popular house brand seems like a smart bulk buy for seniors on fixed incomes. The massive packages promise months of supply. The Kirkland name suggests quality backed by Costco's reputation. The sheer size of the purchase makes you feel prepared, stocked up, financially savvy. But quantity doesn't equal quality, a lesson many learn too late when symptoms appear weeks into using a massive package you can't return. Multiple consumer reports describe severe allergic reactions, including hives and chemical burns after switching to Kirkland. The brand uses a proprietary blend of softening agents that includes quaternary ammonium compounds, known irritants for sensitive skin and mucous membranes. For seniors managing diabetes, these chemicals can delay healing of any minor skin tears or irritation, turning small problems into persistent wounds that refuse to close. Independent lab testing found that Kirkland's septic safe claim is questionable at best. Sheets don't break down as advertised, and the extra binders used to achieve this contain formaldehyde-releasing preservatives that your body absorbs through skin contact. A Texas plumber reported finding intact Kirkland sheets in septic systems months after use, raising questions about what else isn't breaking down, including the chemical compounds bonding the fibers together. The brand promises wholesale value, but delivers wholesale chemical exposure. Each massive package represents months of daily contact with compounds your body was never meant to absorb, turning your bulk purchase into extended chemical exposure you've locked yourself into. According to testing by an independent consumer lab in 2024, Kirkland toilet paper contained synthetic fragrance compounds at levels 31% higher than the industry average. One retired accountant in Seattle said she developed contact dermatitis so severe from Kirkland that she needed steroid cream for 3 months, and she was only a quarter through her Costco-sized package. The texture feels artificially soft, almost slippery, as if coated with something that doesn't belong there, and that synthetic smoothness is exactly what should make you suspicious. At number 3, Presto. Amazon's budget toilet paper brand targets cost-conscious shoppers with subscribe and save convenience. Click a button, and it arrives at your door, easy and affordable, the ultimate in modern convenience. No store trip required, no heavy packages to carry, just automatic deliveries that seem like the perfect solution for seniors with mobility issues. But convenience comes at a hidden price your body will eventually pay. Consumer watchdog groups have flagged Presto for containing some of the highest levels of per- and polyfluoroalkyl substances, or PFAS, among major brands. These forever chemicals don't break down in the body and accumulate over time, linked to kidney disease, thyroid dysfunction, and immune system damage. For seniors already managing these conditions, additional PFAS exposure can accelerate decline and worsen symptoms you thought were under control. The thin, scratchy texture causes more friction and potential injury to delicate tissue, and when you're older, skin that used to bounce back simply doesn't anymore. Each sheet feels rough, almost abrasive, tearing easily and requiring multiple layers just to feel protected. Manufacturing oversight is minimal compared to established brands, leading to batch-to-batch inconsistency in chemical content. You never quite know what you're getting, 1 month relatively clean, the next month loaded with contaminants. The brand promises easy reordering, but what arrives at your door is a health risk disguised as convenience. Statistics show PFAS contamination in personal care products has increased 34% in the last 5 years, with budget brands showing the highest concentrations. One woman in Michigan who subscribed to Presto for over a year developed unexplained thyroid problems that her doctor eventually linked to chronic PFAS exposure from daily use products. Her thyroid levels were so disrupted that she needed medication she'd never required before, all traced back to her subscription toilet paper. The smell out of the package sometimes has a plasticky chemical odor that should be your first warning, and the sheets leave a dusty residue on your hands that feels wrong, unnatural, contaminated. Why is it always the cheapest products that seem to cause the most health problems? Coincidence or something more deliberate? Number 2 is White Cloud. Walmart's premium house brand positions itself as a step up from great value, with promises of softness and strength that sound reassuring. The packaging is more polished, the marketing more sophisticated, making you believe you're getting something better. The white and blue design looks clean, clinical, trustworthy. But reports from production facilities tell a different story, one of cutting corners to maintain profit margins while charging slightly more. White Cloud uses a chemical cocktail of brightening agents, fragrances, and antimicrobial treatments that create a perfect storm for allergic reactions. Seniors with multiple chemical sensitivity report debilitating reactions after exposure, including migraines, skin rashes, and respiratory distress. One woman in Oregon described developing such severe headaches from White Cloud that she thought she was having a stroke, only to discover it was a reaction to her toilet paper. The brand's 3D velvet texture is achieved through synthetic fiber processing, that leaves microscopic plastic particles embedded in the paper. Recent studies have shown these microplastics can transfer to skin and mucous membranes, creating inflammation and potential long-term health effects we're only beginning to understand. For seniors with heart conditions, the cumulative inflammatory response from daily microplastic exposure can worsen cardiovascular symptoms, raising blood pressure and increasing clotting risks. The brand promises cloud-like softness, but laboratory analysis reveals cloud-like chemical contamination. Each use deposits invisible synthetic particles on your body's most absorbent tissues designed to pull substances directly into your bloodstream. One retired teacher from Maryland reported developing unexplained inflammation markers in her blood work that normalized only after switching away from white cloud. Her doctor had been considering autoimmune disease testing until the pattern became clear. The velvet texture feels suspiciously synthetic, more like wiping with microfiber cloth than paper. And that synthetic feeling comes from the microplastic fibers woven throughout every sheet. And at number 1, the worst of them all, Angel Soft with fresh lavender scent. While the unscented Angel Soft made our list at number 11, the scented version earns the top spot for danger because it combines every risk we've discussed with additional layers of chemical assault disguised as freshness. The lavender fragrance contains phthalates and synthetic musks that are particularly hazardous for seniors. These compounds are known endocrine disruptors, interfering with hormone regulation and medication effectiveness. For seniors on thyroid medication or hormone replacement therapy, exposure can reduce treatment efficacy by as much as 30%, making your prescriptions work less effectively without you realizing why your symptoms are returning. The fragrance also contains acetaldehyde, a probable carcinogen that causes respiratory irritation. Seniors with COPD or emphysema report breathing difficulties after using scented toilet paper in enclosed bathrooms, with some experiencing attacks severe enough to require emergency inhalers. The chemical scent lingers on skin and transfers to underwear, creating prolonged exposure throughout the day that never really stops, following you from room to room. Consumer Reports document cases of severe contact dermatitis requiring medical treatment, with painful blistering and weeping sores in intimate areas. For seniors with weakened kidneys, the body's reduced ability to filter these chemicals means they accumulate faster and cause more damage than they would in younger, healthier individuals. The brand promises fresh comfort, but delivers a chemical assault on your body's most vulnerable entry points. Statistics from Poison Control Centers show a 27% increase in adverse reactions to scented personal care products among seniors over the past 3 years. One retired teacher from Georgia ended up in the emergency room with a severe allergic reaction and chemical burns after trying Angel Soft Lavender for just 3 days. She told reporters she trusted the brand name and never imagined something as simple as scented toilet paper could hospitalize her. She described the burning sensation as worse than anything she'd experienced, as if acid was eating through her skin. The soft sheets soaked in artificial lavender smell became the worst purchase she ever made. The scent is overwhelming when you first open the package, artificial and cloying. Nothing like real lavender, but rather a chemical approximation that fills your entire bathroom with fumes. Some users report headaches just from the smell in their bathroom cabinet, and the fragrance transfers to everything it touches, your hands, your clothes, your towels, creating an inescapable cloud of synthetic lavender that follows you throughout your day. Most people never learn how to protect themselves from these hidden bathroom dangers, but we'll break it down at the end of the video. Stay with me. The 2 brands that are actually worth buying. After exposing all these dangerous products, you deserve to know what's actually safe, what you can trust to protect rather than harm your health. These aren't just marginally better options. They represent genuine safety backed by testing and transparency. The first option that passes rigorous safety standards is Bim Bam Boo bamboo toilet paper. This brand uses naturally hypoallergenic bamboo fibers, free from bleach, fragrances, and BPA. The manufacturing process doesn't rely on harsh chemicals or synthetic binders that leave residues on your skin. When you hold a sheet, it feels genuinely natural, soft without that synthetic slickness that should make you suspicious. Produced under strict quality controls with third-party testing for contaminants, Bim Bam Boo has consistently tested negative for PFAS, formaldehyde, and phthalates in every independent analysis conducted over the past 3 years. Seniors can use it confidently knowing it's gentle on sensitive skin, septic safe, and free from the chemical cocktails found in conventional brands. The bamboo fibers are naturally antibacterial without added chemicals, providing genuine cleanliness without toxins or synthetic antimicrobial agents that disrupt disrupt your body's natural balance. Dermatologists who've reviewed the product recommend it specifically for patients with chronic skin conditions or chemical sensitivities, noting significantly reduced irritation complaints among their senior patients. The texture is soft but strong, requiring no synthetic softening agents, and it breaks down easily in water without the persistent binders that clog septic systems and remain on your body long after use. Multiple consumer testing groups have given Bim Bamboo top ratings for safety and performance. For seniors managing multiple health conditions, switching to this brand eliminates one daily source of chemical exposure you don't need in your life. The second recommendation is Kaboo Tree-Free Bath Tissue. Made from sustainable bamboo and sugarcane, Kaboo is processed without chlorine bleach or harsh chemicals that compromise your health. The manufacturing facility maintains rigorous contamination controls that have earned independent certifications most brands can't match or won't pursue. Independently certified by dermatologists as safe for sensitive skin and recommended for seniors with chronic urinary or skin conditions, Kaboo has become the go-to choice for healthcare facilities that prioritize patient safety above cost savings. Rigorous testing ensures no formaldehyde, BPA, or fragrance compounds ever make it into the final product. The natural fibers break down easily, preventing both plumbing issues and prolonged chemical contact with your body. Unlike conventional toilet paper that relies on synthetic processing, Kaboo uses mechanical processing methods that preserve fiber integrity without chemical intervention. Consumer reviews consistently highlight the softness and strength without the chemical smell that plagues other brands. For seniors with diabetes, kidney disease, or compromised immune systems, Kaboo offers genuine safety backed by transparent testing and certification you can verify. The company publishes annual water quality reports and maintains transparency about sourcing and processing, something most major brands refuse to do because they know what it would reveal. When your health is on the line, Kaboo delivers the purity that other brands only pretend to offer through clever marketing. Independent lab testing in 2024 found zero detectable PFAS, zero microplastics, and zero volatile organic compounds in Kaboo products across multiple batch samples taken from different production runs and retail locations. Don't risk your health on toilet paper that hides dangerous chemicals and contaminants. What you choose matters more than you think, affecting your health multiple times every single day. Your bathroom should be a place of basic safety, not a source of daily chemical exposure that wears down your body over months and years. Every single use adds up, accumulating in your system, creating inflammation, disrupting your medications, weakening your immune system. Subscribe now so you never get blindsided again. And if you're
all right, so it's kind of weird. I was talking about this last week. We're going to do something on toilet paper. And it's like, toilet paper? Like, why? As you can see, it ain't all that, everything's not as it should be, more than meets the eye, so to speak, So, of course, I wonder, I don't know how much that bamboo toilet paper cost, but, if it's something that, they kept saying seniors, but I'm sure microplastic toilet paper isn't good for anybody, so it might be something that, if you can swing it, maybe grab a couple of them bamboo joints, but yeah, this place is pretty terrible, pretty terrible. And they put the commercials. You notice those last two, I haven't seen commercials with them, like Trader Joe's. That's a grocery store that you don't see commercials. Lamborghinis don't have commercials. Rolls Royce, you don't see commercials with them, because some stuff is just, the product speaks for itself. So if you see a Charmin commercial over and over, brainwashing you to get it, you see why. That stuff is bad. It's bad for you, as they say. Okay. So, if you learned something today, we've done our jobs, please respond with a thumbs up emoji and some comments, and sharing will be greatly appreciated. All right, keep going in the right direction. July 4th is coming up, you know what I'm saying? About to stand in front of the White House and at the UFC fight, whatever they got going on there. He said, I'm gonna take down the pillars and put gold pillars up. That dude is nuts. He's Nebuchadnezzar losing his mind. Anything you want to bring out, Ken, before we close out?
Yeah, health is wealth. Like even with the toilet paper, just making sure, because we use toilet paper every day. You know what I'm saying? So you definitely got to make sure, you know, check and be diligent in what you're getting and bringing into your house as well. It's like with music, you know, mainstream music, most of the time be the worst music. It has an agenda behind it, but some of the best music be underground. You know, something you stumble upon by mistake. You're like, damn, this joint is fire. Who's this artist? And all of this, like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? But the ones that they're pushing out throughout the mainstream, that's all part of the agenda. Not 100%, but it could be more than likely 95%, I would say. You know, so it's the same thing with foods, products that's being pushed out that you know about and everything. Look for certain things yourself. You know, do your research, you know, even when it comes with clothing, different fabrics and all of that stuff, you know, so everything counts. Because this devil, everything he planned is meticulous. He's very meticulous. So he's about trying to kill us, suffocate us, poison us, you know, and you wouldn't expect it. Even with the food, like hot dogs, it says beef, beef hot dogs. And then you look in the ingredients and then you find out they got pork casings though. But in the front of the case, it says all beef or beef or chicken. But you look in the ingredients, they'll say pork casings, or you know what? It's pork, but they'll use a different ingredient for it. They'll give it a different name. And then you look that up, it says little remnants of pork. You're like, what the hell is this? So why would you say beef or chicken? And it has some pork in it. You know, so you can never be careful with this devil, man. So everything that he creates, definitely check, do your due diligence, and you know, let's be circumspect, Israel. Call me Shah.
Khan, and I'm glad you mentioned that, because that's going to go into Most High Willing still here, and the lights are still on. That it's going to be. I'm gonna find a video because I heard about this and I believe it. That there's companies called all beef patties, right, or all beef. So when they have, this is terrible. When they have the burger and it says this is an all beef patty burger, it is, because say REI was, you know, he's the company. He sells all beef. His company's called All Beef Patties, but he could put anything in there. He could put horse meat, rats, dogs, cats. But when I buy from him and I, you know, have it, and I sell it to the masses, it says all beef patties, because that's his company name. It doesn't mean that it's all beef patties. Do you know what I'm saying? Like that spin move, and they do that with I believe salmon. They'll say salmon is wild caught salmon, but I buy this Frankenstein salmon from a company called Wild Caught Salmon. So it's done purposely to confuse people. Like, oh, that's wild caught. They're like, yeah, but the company is called Wild Caught. That doesn't mean it's actually caught from the wild. Yo, this dude is so damn demonic. It don't make sense, you know.
But that's part of deception. That's part of deception. By the way that people perceive certain things, how you present it to them, that's part of their trickery. So now what happens? Once you're trying to sue them, hey, shit, we told you this was going to be like. We told you exactly what we were saying was going to happen. You know, we selling this, but we didn't say we were selling this right here. We're selling cats and dogs. We didn't say we were selling chicken. And you're like, hold on, but the name of your company is Chicken Scratch. So what the hell? What type of confusion? Like this devil is something else, man.
God.
The brother Kazak, he said, what is this? Placentris barbatus is a leafy plant that leaves are roughly the size of an industrial toilet paper square and emits a minty, lemony fragrance. Damn. Covered in tiny hairs? Okay. Okay, calm. Yeah, that's some good information with that one. It's lucky. What's the next one? Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
I was gonna say, also, look at Nadif said, but think about blowing your nose. Yeah, man, you got to get all up in there with the tissues. Lord knows. What about the tissues? You know what I mean? Microplastics. Ugh.
Right.
Yeah, anything that has like, you know, writing on it that's different colors and stuff like that, that can't be good. You know what I mean? That stuff dies and all that as well. Also I was going to bring out, not changing the subject, but apparently Iran got the message and they're bombing Kuwait right now. So obviously Kuwait has, you know, they have their oil infrastructure that's probably going to be up in flames by the night. You know, the US Army bases that are there, they're probably going to be up in flames by the night. So something to look forward to, you know what I'm saying? More war, you know, coming at this damn devil. So all the stuff that he's doing, Most High gotta, you know, Uno reverse card on him. You know what I mean? You want to give terrible products out to God's chosen people, you're gonna get blown up in the Middle East and kicked out of the land out there. Call me Ashala.
Call me Ashala.
Man.
Yeah, well, he said, think about blowing your nose, how it gets directly in your lungs. Yeah. Damn, that's true.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah. So this is the part of the, like, I was bringing out, you know what I mean? Health is wealth. So it's not just what we put in, it's what we don't put in. You know what I mean? If that toilet paper costs 25 cents more, think about the implications of not using it and the health benefits. Do you know what I'm saying? Because when you're sick, that stuff, the amount of money that we pay for healthcare and just the what do they call that? I can't think of the name right now, but you know, we're going to have to pay anyway, out of pocket. What the out of pocket expenses.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You know, when you say you got healthcare, or if you don't
Medicaid and all of that.
Yeah, Medicaid, yeah, that stuff is super expensive. You know, they still give you a bill and all that. So regardless, you know what I mean, the preventative measures is necessary. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the stuff you put, like you said, the food and the water and you know what you put in your body. You know what I mean? But it's what you don't put in your body too that can help it replenish. You know what I mean? Your body always tries to get better. You know what I mean? You know, some have autoimmune disease, it'll be fighting against you. But for the most part, you know, in your body is trying to get back to normal. You know what I mean? And you know, let your body work, you know, put the good stuff in, leave the bad stuff out. So something to look into with that bamboo or the leaves. You know what I'm saying? Might something you can grow out in your backyard or on the, you know, you have an apartment, you could grow it in your windowsill. It's all be growing right there. You know what I mean? That's just, you know, all praise the Most High. He got something to combat everything that they do.
God, hey, Salaki, it's like it's same as like with plants. You know, plants is like a natural humidifier. Put in your room, it can help cleanse the air and all of that stuff. Like, yeah, it's just everything this demon creates. The Lord already has the original blueprint for it. He already has the original system set up in the original blueprint. Animals, fishes, and all different creatures and plants and agriculture. He already got the original thing for it. This devil comes in and whatever he creates is GMO, is poison, and it has a wicked ass, it's like a wicked method behind it. Like, it's just, he got to go, man.
Con, that's how you know who the damn devil is. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, everything that's good, he does the opposite of. You know what I mean? Like, Nadeem said copay. That's what I was trying to think of. Copay. You still got to come out of pocket. You still got to pay. You know what I mean? So it's expensive, man. Stuff's really expensive. Then they give you the medicine. You got insurance and everything. You go get the medicine. They be like, oh, that's $200, $100 away. Like,
right.
I got insurance, right? How much would it be if I didn't have insurance? And there was a point in time where I didn't, right? I didn't have insurance and I pay out of pocket it's the same amount now that I got it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's a scam. So that's when the boy Luigi walked up with the blinky and let the man have it at 5 a.m. The dude that was at the CEO, and everybody started cheering. They're like,
was it Cash App?
Huh?
Was it Cash App?
No, the Cash App guy got it too. But this was I think the Cash App guy, yeah, he got stabbed by somebody. This was Luigi. He shot the head of United Healthcare or whatever.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? In New York, and he wrote the name on the bullets and everything. Like, he had this thing sewed up, but he went to like a Starbucks, started talking to some lady, and took his mask down so they knew who he was. But whatever, when he did it, everybody's like, go, run. They giving him probably commissary and everything that he got caught. But everybody knows how wicked these insurance people are, man. They's trying to get every dollar out of you. They don't cover nothing. You got insurance, and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, it don't cover it. Your insurance don't cover that. Your insurance don't cover that." You're like, what's the point of having insurance? You know? So doing the natural, holistic way off top is important. Like, you don't want to really wait till you get sick and you're like, all right, let me start eating healthy now. You want to do that now. Not saying don't eat healthy if you're sick, but now that you feel good, or little health problems here and there, this, that, and the third, turn your life around and get as healthy as possible, so you don't have to get a diagnosis and hear the doctor say you got this, you got that, and then you're like, all right, let me get my act together. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully this helps. You know what I mean? We're gonna have, after every class, we're gonna have something where we can talk about it, because it affects everybody. Health and wellness is a universal thing. You know what I mean? 100% of us, know what it's like to be sick, and you don't want to take that route where it's like a sickness that you just cannot get away from. You know what I mean? But the Most High, of course, he can do anything. You know what I mean? So if you are in, a situation like that, the Lord can bring you out of that. But you don't want to say, God, I need your help, and then you eating buckets of ice cream for breakfast, and you know what I'm saying, and cheesesteaks throughout the day and burgers, and you just like, come on, man, what are you doing? You got eventually you got to take that trip to be like, yo, I'm an adult. I need to eat some fruits and vegetables. I need
change
to
up your diet.
Yeah, and stay away from that trash. You know what I mean? Drinking sodas all the time, like, that stuff ain't good for you. And this stuff that you should know. I know you know it. You know better, you do better. All right. But we were taught wrong, you know what I mean, throughout the generations. Our, parents, ancestors eating chitlins and ham hock, you know what I'm saying? So, but we breaking generational curses, Most High willing. All right.
Man, quick thing before we close out. I seen this hopefully it's AI, man. I seen it on Facebook when I was scrolling, and they said McDonald's was selling a place of chitlins. And I'm just praying to God, hopefully it's AI.
That's
hopefully it's AI. Hopefully it's AI.
I really wouldn't be surprised though.
That's what I'm saying. I'm praying.
Yeah.
AI, because I wouldn't be surprised it's real, man. That's what's sad about the times that we in as well. But it's more confirmation that we are in Babylon. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we're making sure we on point with our health, and always keep in mind this devil is trying to kill you.
Yeah.
So you got to be mindful and always be on guard. So even the food you eat, whatever you put into your body, so be mindful of that. He don't care. So if you don't do it, who's gonna do it for you? So yeah.
It's like he's not going to say, I'm trying to kill you.
Right.
You know what I mean? They might get caught in a hot mic, which they have. You know what I'm saying? But when they out there, and that stops the simple of our people from thinking. They're like, yo, what do you mean he's trying to kill us? He just said he's trying to help us. What are you guys talking about? You know what I'm saying? But when have they not been trying to kill us? You got to give me a date. You know what I mean? And you can't get a date because there hasn't been one. They're actively pursuing trying to kill us. And look at, he's giving white supremacists that he sent to the Capitol
January 6th.
January 6th, $1 billion. You know what I'm saying? We ain't getting no reparations. We got a sorry from the Pope. You know what I'm saying? Right. But that's it. I can't eat no sorries. I can't pay my bills with sorries. You know what I mean? But he gave $1 billion to them, and they're white supremacists. So and he's bringing over more, allegedly, he's bringing over more South Africans, not the black ones, the white ones. You know what I'm saying? Not Ham or anybody else, just the white ones. So this is him building his army. Okay, he has a plan. He might not tell you the plan, but the Bible always talks about it. He wakes up thinking about how's he going to, kill people and destroy Khan, and it's us. So be advised. All right. So, hopefully, learn something, Mitch. Come on, man. Steve gotta chill.
He's right. Right.
Somebody getting a deep.
I hope it's AI, man. Because I seen that, man.
No, get a big chilling. I can't with you, man.
Yeah, this is
it, man. Oh, thank you. I needed that. Gotta make chilling though. Yo, wildin', man. Yo, wildin'.
And the pride of this devil, he like, yeah, I gonna love this. He got no shame, like.
Right.
Oh man, he hate us.
It's gonna be a hit. Oh my God, McChillin and a McRib. Y'all stop, man. That's too much. Too much.
I just praise AI, no lie.
God. Oh man. The water for that lab needed that. God. All right, y'all. Let's focus in, tighten up. The more we follow the law, statute, commandments, the more you're gonna see those earthquakes and sinkholes, and a volcano hit with a meteor and a chariot. So right. Hey, just keep it up. All right.
Comment.
Call me out.
His family. Call me Shala. Call me Shala.
Shalom, yo.
Let's play this track right here. Where are you?
Yeah. Shout out to my higher now, Yahweh. Shout out to Dark Side for this beat. All praises to my higher now, Yahweh, the house of Israel. Put your hands on your heart for your God. We gonna roll with Yahweh. What? He's out higher now. Yeah. We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. Come on. We gonna roll with Yahweh. Yeah. He's out higher now. What? We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. We gonna roll with Yahweh. He's out higher now. We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. We gonna roll with Yahweh. Come on. He's out higher now. Come on. We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. We gonna roll with Yahweh, he's out higher now. There's none greater than the God Yahweh. Every day he show us his power, and these storms, man, they devour. He has bodies, man, every hour. Life is sour, but he brings power. And his son, yes, we do honor. He's our father, a mighty father. And you defile us, why even bother? All you wicked ass men that started these powers, but he's the problem solver. Man, these scriptures hit like a revolver. Shrapnel in your face like a bomber. Daughters of Zion, let's go warn her that the Lord God is about to abhor her. Wait, hold up. This is the reason why I'm living, and the reason why I'm even in existence is to please Hayanawa and to show Hayanawa that we have truly repented. Ain't no reason for a brother to come up to camp at the front like he got still. But if a real little brother by the will of the Yahweh, your cap, he might just fail. Wait, hold up. We gonna roll with Yahweh. He's out higher now. What? We gonna roll with Yahweh, and his name is full of power. Yeah. We gonna roll with Yahweh. He's out higher now. ain't real. Don't make a cop back or the steel. Make you clap like you was a seal. Or a pig to the slaughter, you squeal. Like the devils in the Bible, it revealed. White women walk past it like ill. To the devils in the crowd and send chills. Hop back in your post and just peel. White people walk up and they cry. Trying to say that the Bible ain't right. But the Bible said the devil gonna fry. And the Bible said the devil is a lie. You should the devil touch the apple of his eye. Coronavirus that you modify. Better scripture that are screaming for the Lord. Angel call upon y'all like a sword. Hold up. This is the reason why I'm living, and the reason why I'm even in existence is to please higher now and to show higher now that we have truly repented. There's no reason for our brother just to come up the camp at the front like he got still. Cause if it's real, then the brother by the wheel, or your how in your gap might just build. Wait, hold up. We gonna roll with the Howard.